This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. You're tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Offense to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Spotty Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727, or online at adreamlending.com. The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve. Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you all are doing well out there. Sean Stanley by my side. We are ready to rock and roll. You know what? Let me get my headphones. You know, when you kind of get used to doing this stuff with your headphones, and you want to make sure you're like hearing yourself and all that kind of good stuff. Not that I really want to hear my voice, but I gotta know what it sounds like in a way. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, welcome aboard. Hope you all are doing well. We are ready to rock for the next couple of hours. We got Ira Winderman today. We got Omar Kelly. We got, let's see, who am I missing? Oh, Manny Navarro, obviously, with everything going on with the Canes. Got a bunch of stuff going on, ladies and gentlemen. So we are ready to rock and roll. We appreciate all of you out there, as always. Don't forget, if you're listening on the podcast, to smash the like button. If you're watching on YouTube, always smash the like button. It is very important that you do that, of course. Loaded program today. Man, got a bunch of stuff that we'll get to, and stuff going on in sports. Got some music stuff. Got all kinds of good things going on. You know, the good thing is we're off this weekend. Wait, no sports grill, by the way, on Sunday. So just in case, if any of you are thinking, hey, you know, I'm not going to the game, or I'm not, you know, maybe O's doing, O and Sean are over at Sports Grill, and no, we're not actually. So we're actually going to enjoy the weekend off and relax. I'm kind of looking forward to 1 o'clock. I got to be honest with you. When the show is done, whenever it's done, if it's done at 1 or whatever, you know, sometimes we just roll and just talk. But I am looking forward to one, you know, whenever the show's done, to kind of chill out, relax, unwind. Had you know, really long week, obviously, and it's been a mission compartmentalizing everything and having to do your responsibilities and then all the other stuff that's gone on in your life and all that. So it'll be tough because I know tomorrow will be a week that we lost Bill, and it's been, like I said, compartmentalizing everything, having to do your job, having to handle life, and then you've got all these things inside of you that are, it's like every moment. Like I sit here in this studio, right, and to my right, that seat there, it's where Bill sits, like all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things that it's just constant, man. Constant reminders. So it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. And I appreciate all of you out there with, all the well wishes and support and donations that you made also to help out Bill's family. Just absolutely fantastic. How everybody responded. And there's going to be a celebration of his life, by the way. It'll be done after the holidays. So I will give you guys the date exactly and the place where we're going to do it. So if any of you want to show up that day and lift the glass to Bill, you'll have that opportunity. So I will give you guys the date and the place after the holidays are done, and we'll have a get together in honor of Bill. So just in case, if any of you want to do that. I see Thomas Jensen puts in Demaryius Thomas. Speaking of losing folks, I saw that last night, and I saw the responses all over the place. Demaryius Thomas, sadly, you lose him at 33. I don't know what medical issues were going on with him, but I will say he made an impact because there was a hell of a response on his part. And just sad, man. 33 years old. It's like every day's a blessing, and for those of us to get older, I'm 55, and like I see people all the time that are passing before, a lot younger than I am, like Demaryius Thomas. And it's, every day that you wake up and you get to enjoy your day, I mean, attack it, man. Attack it. Attack your job, attack your life. Attack your family in a good way, by the way. I don't mean it in a okay. But what I'm saying is appreciate it, man. My daughter came over last night and just gave her kind of like just a little extra hug. And, it's just one of those things, she doesn't live with us anymore, So it's just one of those, like she comes over and, you don't get to see her. And it's just everything in life, man. If you have an opportunity to go do something and enjoy something, go do it. You got an opportunity to go with your child or your spouse or your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, go do it. Enjoy life, work, do the best you can at your job. Get the most out of your job, get the most out of your life. Enjoy every single day because you just don't know. So it is a blessing every single day that you're able to do whatever you're doing. Trust me, whatever it is you're doing, you might think it's not the best thing in the world. You're still blessed to be doing whatever it is. So make the best of it. That's all. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those. So it's been a rough week, I'll say, and I'm kind of glad that the week is ending. I'm looking forward to 1 o'clock. I'm kind of looking forward to unwinding over the next couple of days. It's just going to be me, the wife, and the 5 dogs. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to do for the next couple of days. I'll just vegetate, watch some sports, obviously, because that's what I do for a living, and enjoy anything else. I am going to watch the Beatles special this tonight. I will definitely watch it. I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch a couple of other things over the weekend, but the Beatles special that I have not been able to catch, I've been wanting to watch that thing, and looking forward to that. So we got a bunch of things to talk about today on the program. Remember, you can always reach out to the show on the text line. We'll go to the text line later and read any of your comments and criticisms and insults and all kinds of stuff at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. Of course, YouTube, we want you to smash that like button. Yahoo email, Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Twitter, Big O Show, as always. We want to also welcome a new sponsor to the program, Sloman's Home Security. All right. So thank you to Sloman's. They are listeners and fans of the show. And so they reached out from their home offices in New York. And we are now protected in our home by Sloman's Home Security. So we encourage you to do the same thing. We actually put out a offer for you on Twitter there for a free doorbell. And hit that link, by the way. I put it on Facebook too, where you can get a free doorbell camera by signing up for Sloman's Home Security, but you've got to use that link right there, okay? So it is on Twitter. I put it on Facebook also, so you can check it out there. So welcome aboard to Sloman's Home Security, one of our proud sponsors now of the program. All right, let's do this. Let's take a really quick break here. Well, not a quick break. It's an open, baby. He's got his glasses off. He's locked and loaded. He's the one and only Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right, there he is, Ira Winderman. Ira, how are you doing, sir? Good morning.
You know, I'm doing well, Big O, and it's just so interesting, the roller coaster of an NBA season. I mean, here I talked to you early in the week, talked to Clay Ferraro coming off the loss to the Grizzlies, and the world is ending. And then I get to talk to you now after that unbelievable step-up victory over the Milwaukee Bucks, and we're going to talk championship contention today on the Acura Pembroke Pines report. It's just... You know, I almost, on one hand, want to tell Heat fans to chill out, take a deep breath. It's an 82-game season. But it's kind of fun being on the roller coaster also. I mean, it really is. I mean, as down as Heat Nation was after Monday against Memphis, they're just as up right now going into the Bulls game on Saturday here at FTX Arena. So it's I think I can safely say this, and it's sort of proven to be the case with the Dolphins also. Oh, it's going to be a wild ride. And it's going to be a wild ride because of injuries, because of COVID concerns, because of an unbelievably competitive Eastern Conference. You don't know where it's going to shake out. If you were to tell me right now, Ira, I believe by the end of the season that Heat will be number 2 in the East behind Brooklyn. You know what? I might agree with you. And if you were to tell me, Ira, with Bam being out till mid-January and Jimmy dealing with this tailbone issue, wouldn't be shocked if they were in the play-in. I could see that also. I'm not sure I know where this is headed, but I know, it's going to be a hell of a ride.
And listen, maybe they need the attitude I had with you the other day. I told you, hey, man, it's a long season. Relax. Take it easy. This is a good time to develop players. And Caleb Martin did his best Rex Chapman, impression the other night of a 39 performance against the Bulls on a shorthanded Heat. And to me, that's what this is all about. And it's what I told you the other day is, hey, let's find out about some of these young guys, man, because these dudes know how to find young people and develop them. It's not just about draft picks anymore with the Miami Heat. It hasn't been like that since Udonis Haslem. We should learn our lessons about that. You know what I'm saying?
Draft choices. I mean, look, league, you can penalize for tampering and take away a second-round pick. Look who they had on the court at the end of the game the other day. I mean, yes, They had P.J. Tucker, who was awesome. They had Kyle Lowry, who was awesome, but they had your close personal friend, KZ Okpala.
Somebody was loose. Somebody was loose.
Max Strus. They had him out there, and Caleb Martin. One, it shows terrific coaching, that Eric Spoelstra can push the right buttons the way he does. But second, it also shows you when you have players who are driven and who live in the moment, like you mentioned, you're open to today's Big O show, that if you live in the moment and you seize the moment, here you're talking about an NFL player passing away at such a young age at 33. You never know what's next. And you talked about living in the moment. This Heat team, for better or for worse, is living in the moment. Caleb Martin had a moment. Max Strus had a moment. And remarkably, KZ Okpala had a moment. So you take those moments and you move on. That's what made it so much fun. I think people love the underdog. This was like 3 backup quarterbacks coming into the game and winning a game, and it made it all that much more special.
All right, but now Caleb Martin has been showing us throughout since he's gotten opportunities. He's done productive things every time pretty much he's been on the court. In fact, I remember you told us a story where you and Eric Reed were like discussing which one of those players were making a bigger impact. And I think Reed was the one that was arguing for Caleb Martin. You were arguing for somebody else. I think it was Gabe or somebody. I forgot what it was. I forgot that discussion. I remember. So Caleb has been in our discussion now for several weeks. So, and we know he's got this two-way contract stuff. So, I know I'm not trying to get ahead of myself on all of this, but I do want to get a little ahead of myself in a way. How do you look at all of this right now? If you're Eric Spoelstra, are you saying, was this just a flash in the pan, a moment? That's it. It's done. He is what he is. Or, hey, dude, there's something here. Let's build on it.
Yeah, I mean, you appreciate what the player is, but you appreciate the role also. Maybe he's a third down back. Maybe he's your fourth receiver. Caleb Martin in this role fits the role perfectly. And let's be honest with ourselves, Let's assume perfect health. Let's go back to that, okay? So let's assume Bam is starting at center, PJ is starting at the 4, Jimmy at the 3, Duncan at the 2. Stay there with me for now, and Kyle Lowry at the 1. So if Markieff Morris is back and Tyler Hero, of course, is on that bench, and you're probably going to use Dedmon as well, Caleb Martin's going to be your 9th or 10th man in the best of times, not to be unfair to him. And he's perfect in that role, and you need someone in that role. It's going to be interesting. One of my Ask Ira questions at sunsentinel.com was, what happens when everyone's healthy? What do you do with Vincent? What do you do with Strus? What do you do with Martin? One, you offer your thanks that everyone's healthy. You're glad you have those kind of guys in reserve. And you appreciate them for what they are, the 8th and 9th man type. The concern about Caleb Martin only having 26 games left that he could be on the active roster in his two-way contract, I can guarantee you that. Don't want to sound like Charles Barkley here, but I can guarantee the Heat will find a way to keep Caleb Martin. We were in this situation a couple of years ago. Chris Silva was the best big man off the bench. He had a two-way contract. He was running out of days. The Heat converted him to a standard deal. And look at it this way. The Heat have converted now Duncan Robinson, Derrick Jones Jr., Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Chris Silva from two-way deals to standard deals. They know what they have. They find a way to keep them. I don't know how Andy Ellisberg's going to do it. I don't know what it's going to do with the luxury tax, but they take care of their own. The Heat mantra has always been, if you take care of us, we take care of you. Caleb roster will be on the Miami Heat roster for the balance of the season. Caleb Martin, no matter what happens there, they'll find a way. I wouldn't sweat that. When you do all that Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra ask, they take care of you.
Okay. KZ Okpala all of a sudden now has shown us a little some here in the last couple of games. And I'm not going to go crazy on anything on KZ, but man, if you wanted to open up a roster spot, and if you wanted to deal a guy, and if you wanted to take advantage of these injuries right now, well, maybe you want to play KZ as much as possible. So if he can continue to shine, then all of a sudden you might be able to move him and open up that roster spot that you probably desperately need. Or are we building on something here with KZ Okpala from the initial plan? How do we view all of this?
You have to be more than a once-a-month player. If you did one really good show a month, you probably wouldn't have had those 6 million hits that you've gotten so far. You've got to be more. You've got to be more than once a month. So, and also the game.
That's why I say play him now, trade him.
No, exactly. You always talk about trade when the value is high. Well, KZ Okpala's value has never been higher than his best game in 2 years or so in a meaningful game. Not into the season at Detroit, not in Oklahoma City, but it's something that really matters.
Time. It wasn't. It was real. It was real.
This mattered. This was Milwaukee. This was the top team. But it's what I mentioned about the East being so competitive, Big O. You can't take time to showcase players. You can't take time to go heavy into development during the season. Look at where the Heat are right now. I mean, they're in 4th place. They were like a game and a half out of 2nd place. And they're 2 games out of not being in the playoffs. All these games matter so much. So you can't have a throwaway moment. You can't turn to Dan Craig on the bench at Caron Butler and saying, hey, should we play the kid a little more? I heard there's a scout from Team X out there. You don't do that. The bottom line is if the Heat needs someone who can give them something more than KZ Okpala, they will find a way to get that player on the roster. Optimally, you want to do 2 things. You want to find a way to get Caleb Martin a full contract, and probably sign him for another year or two on your favorable terms, while you can, while he's sort of in your window. It's like baseball with a player who's non-arbitration eligible or something like that. And you probably want to add another player unless, and here's the name that you and I speak about once a week or at least once a month, Victor Oladipo. You have this unknown, unseen. I mean, we haven't even seen him shooting before games. Even Markieff Morris is shooting on the main court before games. So what we need to do is we need to get a look at this guy and see what he can do. Maybe your two moves are this: taking care of Caleb Martin in the 15th roster spot that's available and saying, thank you, Victor Oladipo, for finally showing up and being ready to play. If you give me anything that's close to Victor Oladipo was in Indy or Houston, you're in great shape. You're probably adding something better than any other team at the trade deadline. But if he's not, and he's always going to be injured, and he can't get in the court, and he's protecting his free agency for next summer, you probably need a +1, because for all the moments that Max Strus and KZ Okpala and Gabe Vincent give you, they're sometimes players. Sometimes they can give you something special. I mean, no offense to Gabe Vincent. And then there's some nights you didn't even know he was on the court. If you're a playoff contender, you need someone who every single night you throw him out there in reserve, he can give you something. You have that from Tyler Hero. You probably have that from Markieff Morris. You're hoping to have that from Dwayne Dedmon. You need one more. Maybe it's Caleb Martin. Maybe it's player X who arrives, or maybe it's Victor Oladipo. You probably need two of those three.
All right, I'm going to ask you a two-layered question here, and it's kind of I might be completely off on this. You may see it the same way. I don't know, but that's the beauty of sports. Right now, the what I love about watching a Caleb Martin do something, Max Strus do something, KZ Okpala help you out, Gabe Vincent help you out, and even if you can get anything from Yurtseven every once in a blue moon. Not just the development part, but without Butler and Bam, you're putting more pressure on everybody else to perform. And a lot of it then starts to lean into Lowry because he is the legitimate third star on this team.
Sure.
But the way I kind of look at it, where he's at right now in his career, again, here's where we might disagree, not you, maybe, or somebody else out there listening. I don't believe Lowry's the guy that can carry you offensively every night anymore, like he used to in Toronto, with DeRozan. I don't think he's that guy. I don't know if he can do it efficiently every single night. Plus, if you put the burden while Jimmy and Bam are out on Lowry to carry you offensively, I think that puts more of a wear and tear on the young man, on the older man,
Not so young,
and his body, all that stuff. So, for me right now, the beauty of watching those young guys, and you desperately need, obviously Hero's been doing his part, Duncan has not, but these kind of guys really have to step up and complement Lowry, because I think the best Lowry for the Miami Heat right now, even when Bam and Jimmy are in or out, I still believe the best Lowry is the guy that runs the show, that facilitates, that controls, that gets some garbage baskets here or there. But if you need him to be going to the hole constantly and hitting that three constantly and all of that, I'm sorry, dude, that was 7 years ago. You can't do that anymore to this guy. So you tell me how you look at this. Is this what they need? They need the young guys to kind of carry and him be the orchestrator? Or do you feel that Lowry needs to carry the weight a lot more and the burden a lot more offensively with the two big guys out?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen all-game scorer Kyle Lowry in, like you said, 7 or 8 years. Think about it. DeMar DeRozan was the scorer. Then after DeMar DeRozan was traded, it was Kawhi Leonard. Then Fred VanVleet came into his own and Toronto. So Kyle was secondary. I think, what you saw in the Milwaukee game is what you get from Kyle offensively. Caleb Martin carried the team in the first half. Kyle Lowry had a huge third quarter to keep the Heat afloat. Then Max Strus came on and had his all or nothing. It was all in the fourth quarter. Right. So I think what you should do is you could say, we're going to get spots from Kyle Lowry. We're going to get a big quarter. We're going to get a scoring run. But we're not going to get 48-minute, or if he plays 36-minute, Kyle Lowry is a scorer. He hasn't been that in probably a decade or so. And you appreciate that. It's interesting when you talk to him about him as the third wheel on this team when healthy, with Bam and with Jimmy. I think it's a big four with this team. I think Tyler
right.
Hero is there also.
You're right.
So
You're right.
I think most of these nights, Tyler Hero, and he has been often this season,
Yes,
the fourth quarter guy. Now, he wasn't there last game. He didn't play at the end. And that's kind of ballsy by Eric Spoelstra. Most guys, even if a guy's not scoring, you'd still go back to them. Eric didn't. He stayed with KZ. He stayed with Strus. He stayed with Caleb, and it worked. Tyler was fine with that. He's becoming more of a team player. He can deal with that. So, yes, at 35 years old, if you are going to lean heavily, nightly on Kyle Lowry, you're going to destroy the blueprint you created, which was have him ready for the playoffs. Same thing with PJ Tucker, who was awesome against the Bucks, but he's 36 years old. This is the yin and the yang we're going to have through mid-January until Bam comes back. We're going to have until Jimmy Butler is fully healed from that tailbone. We're going to have to a lesser degree until Markieff Morris is over his whiplash and he can come back. Is you have to rely more on PJ and Kyle than you ever thought you would with a 36 and 35-year-old, but you can't do it too much. That's why I've used these two words now since Bam went down, treading water. Just stay afloat right now.
Right.
For example, horrible game against Memphis, really good game against Milwaukee. So let's extrapolate the schedule out further. You have Chicago here on Saturday. Now they're depleted by COVID. That helps. You go to Cleveland on Monday. They kick your ass last time. They're a tough matchup for you with their length. You go to Philadelphia. Joel Embiid has been MVP-like. Then you have games in Orlando and Detroit. My perfect world, not a perfect world, my acceptable world would be this. Get the game against Chicago to make it a 2-1 homestand. Split the next road trip. Maybe you lose in Cleveland and Philly, then you win in Orlando and Detroit, and you're fine. You're staying afloat. Now, Eric Spoelstra will never say, we're leaving for a road trip on Sunday, and I hope to go 2-2. Nor would I ever expect Eric Spoelstra to say that. But I think that's where you are right now. You tread water, you stay afloat, you get your road games out of the way, and oh my God, I mean, the Heat are home so much the second half of the season. I'll probably see you down at Acura Pembroke Pines. I'll probably be there in your dungeon studio. I'm not going anywhere. So I think you just survive now. The Heat's going to have a move. Matter of fact, you can tape this, have it ready on YouTube somewhere. The Heat will have a stretch where they'll win 8 of 9 or 9 of 10 over the second half of the year because the schedule opens wide open for them as long as there's not injury or illness.
Good stuff as always. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Ira, I know eventually he'll figure it out. This happens a lot of times with guys that sign big deals and all that stuff. So I know that Duncan will eventually figure it out. But I will say this. The more I see Strus, and if he can develop the kind of shot that's consistent, because he definitely can shoot the three, he just brings so much more moxie to the defensive side of the court. He will sell out his body. He's just he has a desire to play defense a lot more than Duncan does. And so if you're Spo, how much are you looking at this going, maybe I need to develop this a little bit more just in case I need to break glass? You know what I'm saying? Just in case.
Absolutely. And he did that in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and
that's right. Okay. All right.
We get all these Heat fans who go to you and I, they should bench Duncan. You don't need to do anything that dramatic. It's still more about closing time anyway. You didn't hear any complaints from Duncan about not playing the fourth quarter. Max Strus was unbelievable. Plus, there's a couple of other factors in play. Starting next Wednesday, I believe it's 9 players who signed for the Heat in the offseason become trade eligible. I'm not saying there's going to be a major trade. Working on my Sunday column at sunsentinel.com on that. But at least the door opens. Duncan is different because he signed for a significant raise from his minimum scale contract. He's not trade eligible until January 15th. Now, I'm not starting the whole aggregators, at the starting gate here. The Heat are trading Duncan Robinson. But that's when the door opens for the Heat.
Right.
That's when they can consider it. That's maybe where you save some of the salary we're talking about for the luxury tax. You trade Mr. $15 million for Mr. $11 million. I think Max Strus has created a lot of interest there. The Heat are very good about their value contracts. Matter of fact, right now, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I hope we're not going too long here. But this is our Friday Acura Pembroke Pines quiz. Value contracts, okay? I'm going to give you 3 names. You tell me which is the best Miami Heat value contract.
Okay.
Max Strus on the minimum, Caleb Martin on a 2-way, which is half the minimum, or PJ Tucker on the $7 million mid-level. Which one? Matter of fact, put them in order. put them in
Well,
order from most
holy
to least
shit,
value
but
from those three things.
the priorities are different. The jobs are different. You
But I'm
use
talking
them.
about value related to dollars spent. I'll play the Jeopardy music.
Well, no, I still have to go PJ because he adds
I agree.
everything to the defense, the attitude, everything, confidence. He just adds so much. He can get their best player on the opponent's side and frustrate the hell out of the guy.
Exactly.
You
For
know what I
$7
mean?
million
So
a
for
year.
$7 million, that's nothing. And then I gotta go Strus because I haven't seen enough Caleb yet.
Sure.
I love what I'm seeing from Caleb, but then I have to go Strus number 2 and then Caleb.
Right. So if you're talking about $7 million for PJ, 1.6 for Max Strus, 450,000, I believe, is the number for Caleb Martin. I mean, think about that. That you're talking about $9 million, a little more than half of Duncan's salary and the value you're getting. So as much as Heat Nation is lamenting what Duncan's being paid, because for some reason we all focus on money, the bottom line is the Heat are making it up on the back end. That if you think they overpaid on one end, they're finding value on the back end, and they've always done that. Whether it's the Derrick Jones Juniors, whether it's these other players, even the Gabe Vincents and guys like that. So don't stress too much about the Duncan money, because in the big picture, I think the Heat have a value roster, at least at the moment right now. Maybe we'll question Bam a little later in the season. But the point being, they have found a way through the maneuvering by Andy Ellisberg, Adam Simon, Nick Harrison to sort of get this whole thing level anyway, so they can endure maybe another player underproducing. But it really is remarkable what they've gotten from the back end of the roster. And that's what you need to stay afloat. Then Bam has to be great when he comes back. Jimmy has to be great when he comes back. Kyle Lowry has to be playoff Kyle Lowry. Tyler Hero has to be six-man award contender. You're going to be in a really good place then.
It's going to be fun, man. Let's see what they do against Chicago. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Make sure you check out his work there at the Sun Sentinel. More importantly, subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel and support Ira and all the great writers there. Ira, as always, thank you, sir. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the basketball. We will catch up next week.
And next Friday's quiz will be, you'll have to rate your dogs in order from favorite to least favorite. So I leave you with that, Big O.
Hope my wife doesn't see that segment. All right, Ira. See you later. Be good. Yes, the Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat, an NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. We thank Ira Winderman, as always, for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great basketball conversation there. Appreciate all of you. By the way, don't forget, please smash the like button if you're listening on the podcast. If you're, If you're watching there on YouTube, please smash the hell out of the like button. It is very, very important. It's important to visit our sponsors like American Dream Lending. All right. Call my guy Eves if you need a mortgage. Make sure you tell them that we sent you 305-992-5218. So call my guy Eves Sham at 305-992-5218 if you need a mortgage. You see there above us, EJD Construction. You want to get an addition, home remodeling, man cave, whatever you want to do. EJD, you want to build a hut in the back so you can cook and hang out and all kinds of stuff in the backyard. They do it all, man. EJD Construction. So make sure you call Eric right there. You see the number 305-443-4843. Call him, baby. Call him. Make sure you call our sponsors and use our sponsors. It is very important for the lifeblood of our program. Thank you all out there, as always. Let's see. What do we have on the chat board? Iceman, not a dream. I don't have to imagine Stephen Ross making a sacrifice. No, you guys are just on another tangent there. I guess you guys are going back and forth. For all ages, Tua is our franchise. Your own made a bonehead move with Tua and lied about it and will cost him. I don't know. What are you guys talking about here? What's what's the conversation going on? I guess there's another conversation going on the text. I guess it's going on back and forth there. Steve Chapman, I see, was number one, chiming in as always, right? Chapman getting in number one on the chat board. Jamie Zorria right there from San Jose, California. Says, another beautiful Friday morning. We already got a favorable result. Let's hope for a few more this weekend. And he's talking about the Steelers losing yesterday, 36-28. How that game became interesting is crazy, right? Chase Claypool, there's like he can make plays, and then there's like volatile type dude, man. And Big Ben is just, I don't know, man. It is what it is. Lewis Bryan says, morning, Big O. Cobb County corporate time stealing weasel here, checking in from Atlanta. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you out there. Ian from Brooklyn. I see Chad Marshoni is in. Jay Gelfin is in. Go see a little Joe Bonamassa on Sunday, Jay. Yeah. Carlos Legaldo in. Michael Cody, Hank Johnson, Big Drip, Mitch Dolphin, Andres Orozco, Hank Johnson, Thomas Jensen, Stephen Caparella says, thank God it's Friday, Big O. No game for 9 days. So thanks for the daily Dolphin fix to keep us all in there. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Ramona says, I love Canes' new coach, Mario. My father-in-law and husband say it's a bad hire. They say he was in Oregon. What does he know about South Florida? Please tell them they are wrong. Well, Ramona, I mean, if they said that, they don't really know Mario then. It's like how do you say, what do you know about this area when you grew up here and you went to Columbus and you went to UM and you coached at FIU? I mean, God, Ramona, I love you, but apparently some of the folks you're associating with aren't very bright. I don't know how they're going to say, what does he know about Miami? He only played and was a star here, only played in Columbus, only lives, eat, and breathes Canes, wanted the job badly. Nah. The shit people say, right? That's what happens. How about this? Did you guys see Chris Sims? Wow. Chris Sims. So Chris Sims comes out with his ridiculous Tua comments. And for those of you that have not seen it or heard it or watched it or whatever, I will now play these comments for you of Chris Sims talking about Tua Tagovailoa, and I will comment about this moron. I got to tell you something. I don't know if we'll go to the Super Bowl this year because I don't know if we'll have sponsorships and everything in place in time to be able to go do the week of the Super Bowl, because that would be the place that I would run into this moron. But I promise you that if I was at the Super Bowl and I've got a booth there and that moron walks by, I will call him out loudly and publicly for these comments. Okay? Let me play this. I'll get to many points that I have about this in a second. Let me play this comment from Chris Sims talking about.
Are you just dumb or are you mean? Which one is it? The guy hurt his finger halfway through the first quarter. And again, where I'd argue, and then see, this is where I'm going to sound like a Tua hater. Listen, the whole world can throw the ball 5 yards over the middle. You don't need to draft a quarterback at number 5 in the draft to throw the ball 5 or 6 yards over the middle. Or like Logan Ryan said, run to the left and throw the ball 1 yard into the flat. I mean, it's a real thing. So, I mean, you put Taysom Hill in that situation, yeah, But they asked Taysom Hill to throw the ball 50 yards down the field, 40 yards down the field, 30 yards down the field, things they don't even ask Tua. So idiots on Twitter, shut up. You're an idiot. Get off Twitter and learn something else. Watch something else. You're an idiot. Thank you.
Let me put myself back here. Let me get this out of there. Now, see, these are the things that I've been battling with some of you about Herbert, and we had all these arm queens and all that, and all of you that have been bragging about Herbert, you all have backtracked completely now. You know what I mean? Herbert might be the more freakish talent. Doesn't mean he's a better quarterback. That's the problem with, stupidity. And Chris Sims is as big a moron as some of you out there that really just, oh, well, he's 6'5" and he can throw it 100 miles an hour. That doesn't make you a good quarterback. And Logan Ryan already apologized for his comments. Chris Sims is just stupid for following up. And this is what I tell you all the time, that you hear somebody say something stupid, you don't think for yourself, so you just repeat what somebody else says, and this is what's going on. Here's one moron repeating what another moron said, because Tua's passes are not all 2 yards, and as Logan Ryan learned, because obviously the video went viral, they put together a nice video where several passes, including a touchdown, weren't 2 yards. And Logan Ryan was getting burned downfield a couple of times, and it was over 20 yards. So Tua does see when he has opportunity to throw. See, but unlike Chris Sims, who never had a tenth of the success that Tua Tagovailoa had at the college and even now at the NFL level, right? And since he's not even close to being the kind of quarterback that Tua is, this is why he sits there and talks a bunch of shit. And as a guy that actually played the position, to say this stupid ass stuff, it makes you look even worse. Because you actually played the game. This is why I always tell you all the time, I don't give a shit what former player gets in front of me, next to me, talks to me. They don't know more than I do whether a guy can play or not. They know more than I do and you do about X's and O's. They might have a better understanding of coverages and things like that they're going to understand that maybe I'm not going to understand. I guarantee you that. But they're no better than I am at actually telling me whether a guy can play or not. Because that's an inexact science. They're no better than you or me. We're just as good as they are at guessing who's going to be good and who's going to be bad. And guess what? This is why you have these kind of situations, because even people that played the game are freaking stupid. And I swear to you that if I'm at I'm at Radio Row and I see that clown go by, man, will I call him out. And I'll make sure Sean puts a camera on his ass, and I want to see what he does. Okay? Because I'm going to thoroughly embarrass his ass. Because he's a dumb mofo. I'd tear him apart on my show. He wouldn't last 2 seconds. But then again, look what he's on with. Another guy that all he does is throw crap on the wall. Another guy that also got it completely wrong with Tua because he doesn't know the quarterback position. Like a lot of you out there that didn't believe in Tua because you don't know jack shit about a quarterback. Because you think a quarterback is 6'5" and can throw it 100 miles an hour. And I can show you 100 of those guys that never ended up playing in the league because that's not what a quarterback is about. And a quarterback takes what you give him. Joe Montana killed you with short passes and then hit you over the top. Tom Brady killed you with short passes. He made a living of short passes to midgets. And then he hits you over the top. People used to say that all the time about Brady. Oh, he's dinking and dunking you. Who gives a shit, dude? That's what the defense gives you. That's what you take. And if your offensive line, which of course Chris Sims is too freaking stupid to actually understand that they cannot actually have their quarterback drop 5 to 7 steps because he will get killed. There are times where Tua's being pressured as he's handing off the ball. But again, when you don't watch the games, you don't know. That's the difference. I don't just sit there and watch the highlights like Chris Sims does. I actually watch the games. This is why I can have the conversations I have with Ira Winderman about the Miami Heat and the NBA because I watch the effing game. Notice how we bring up little things that happen in the moments of the game, and you only know that if you watch the game because you won't see it in a highlight. And that's the problem we have with people that are on the air or people writing and all. Remember how I told you that a lot of people that write crypto don't know crypto, don't own crypto, don't understand crypto. They just were given the job and they have to fill it because it's such an exploding, subject now. And people, the world is getting on board eventually as time goes on. So they've got to fill that need. 10 years from now, you will have people that are well-versed in it and understand it. Right now, they don't. This is what happens in sports, too. You have talk show hosts that come on the air on QAM or 790 or The Fan or whatever in Denver or LA or Toronto, whatever, and they did not watch jack shit the night before. They read the paper, saw some highlights off the newscast, and that's how they're doing their show. And that's the same thing on ESPN and on Fox and on, with Florio and all these guys. They don't watch the games completely. So they don't see it. They just talk shit about it without actually having any substance. And when you say comments like what Sims said, it just shows me, dude, that I get it. You didn't believe in Tua just like Mike Florio, so your agenda will always be spun that way, no matter what. And you just won't admit that you're wrong. And Tua doesn't throw all his passes for 2 yards. Does he have to throw a lot of them like that? Yeah, he has no choice. When you have no running game, you have no offensive line, and you really don't have a group of reliable wide receivers. You have 2 wide receivers that are reliable in Waddle and Gesicki. That's it. You have another one, but they never play Matt Collins. They rarely play him. So that never helps. But, I mean, seriously, just an effing moron, Chris Sims. That guy doesn't get this at all. Doesn't understand the quarterback position. Maybe that's why he failed. Maybe that's why he couldn't make it, in the league. Because maybe he didn't understand that you got to take what the defense gives you at times. And then eventually you'll have the plays downfield. And I had plenty of Dolph fans that were the same idiots as Chris Sims. Well, he doesn't throw deep. He doesn't throw deep. Well, it's not that he doesn't throw deep. He cannot throw deep because of the damn offense. And then all of a sudden you saw a couple of deep shots. And it's like, oh, well, he can't. Of course he can throw deep. He just doesn't have the opportunity. It's not we have people that actually think he cannot throw the ball deep. He threw it deep with a broken finger. The guy's overcoming a crap offense, no offensive coaches, and broken ribs and a broken finger. He's overcoming all of this. Chris Sims doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, and neither does Mike Florio. I told you last year that while some people were like, well, he had an okay season. Right? No, Tua was great last year. How many people coming back from hip surgery, dude, last year? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. How many rookies coming back from hip surgery with no offseason? They were the backup. They got a shitty offense, and they overcome. How many people do that kind of stuff? And then this year, shitty offense continues. Worse, the coordinator. At least you had a coordinator last year. You had no coordinators this year. You don't have a line. You don't have a running game. He still wins more than he loses. He still throws more touchdowns than interceptions. He's still balling, playing well, considering the garbage around him. And I don't know what more they want from this kid. I mean, it's like you want him to be a genie too, because he's got to like change everything. Considering that Tua has little to no help, he has been fantastic. The criticism of him is just incredibly over the top, and I don't understand it. If Tua threw 3 passes in a game like this guy last week, he would have gotten killed. If Tua would have played like Josh Allen his rookie year, oh my God. Tua won more than he lost, threw more touchdowns than interceptions, and got absolutely killed. Josh Allen, people were like, well, it's his rookie year, he looks terrible, whatever. That's what you should say. Okay, it's a rookie year. And then they gave him an opportunity to improve. This kid has improved under the worst circumstances, and you have idiots that don't give him any credit whatsoever. Huddle Up Dolphins, thank you, sir. Appreciate the love on the super chat. Very, very nice of you. G Firm, thank you, sir. More love on the super chat. He says Blake Bortles, DeMarcus Russell, Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf, JP Lossman, Mitchell Trubisky, Sam Darnold, many others. All big arm QBers who flopped. Tua is a hit. Thank you, G Firm. You are correct, sir. A whole bunch of them. Kyle Bowler had a big ass arm. I mean, there's tons of them that have arms. Doesn't mean jack. Achilles Smith had a big ass arm. Doesn't do anything. You just saw Mike Glennon this past week. That guy can throw it out of the stadium if he felt like it. Doesn't matter. Just ridiculous to me. It really is. All right, Joe Cotter says, give to an average O-line in a running game, and he will make the playoffs. Book it. Oh, my God, easy. Easy. Boom Whitaker says, 20 years, and we finally got our QB. Media just hating. Fins up. Mopar Junkie says, we didn't hear about how awful Trevor Lawrence has been. No, they'll have patience for everybody, but not for Tua. There's no patience for Tua. He's a bust. Larry in Columbus, Mac Jones does the exact same thing, except he has a great line in a running game. All right, he has a great line in a running game, and he lives in a box. And it's like all he does is give praise. It's like, it's so weird, dude. So weird. I'm like one of the few people that talk about Mac Jones living in a box. Giovanni says, such a shame how Demaryius Thomas passing away. Details broke. He had seizures and was found in the shower. Possibly had a seizure while in the shower. 33 was way too young. Yeah, man. Enjoy it every day. Every day you can enjoy it. Enjoy life, man. You just don't know. Enjoy your family. Hug your wife. Hug your kids. Husband. Whoever's watching. Whoever your loved one is, tell them you love them. Send your kids a text. Remind them that you love them. Remind your parents, your grandparents, your best friends, Nothing wrong with that, man. Enjoy every single day. It is as precious as it gets. How the hell does Chris Sims get a job on NBC? Well, what can I tell you, my brother? Big O radio show. Would you rather have the Three Stooges or Adam Gase as OC? I would rather have none of them. I would rather have a real OC. I would rather have Chan Gailey. I wish Flo wouldn't have scared off Chan Gailey. How about that? Flo actually had a good offensive line coach. Got rid of him. Had a good offensive coordinator. Got rid of him. So, I'd rather have a good offensive coordinator. I don't want to settle for shit. So don't tell me, do you want one turd or three turds? That doesn't make me feel any better as a Dolphin fan. That's not a question. Let's see. Sims watching Dolphins games. Yeah, not at all. Joe Montana and Steve Young did not have a strong arm. Nope. Neither one had a strong arm. Montana's arm and Tua's arm is the same arm. Same arm as Drew Brees. Same arm. No different. They can all make the same kind of throws. They just need the same kind of coaching. They need the same kind of offensive people around them. That's what they need. Carlos says, and we sit here and watch Josh Allen regress to the means. Tua's improving with little to no help. He's doing something no one is talking about, which is massively important to elevating those around him. Carlos, Josh Allen can't do what Tua's doing. All that shit that Chris Sims is talking about, you put Josh Allen in this offense, and he would struggle. He would be throwing way more interceptions than touchdowns. You know why? Because he doesn't have the accuracy that Tua has. So he can't actually do these kind of things. He'll be taking a lot of sacks and a lot of hits. That's what people don't look at. They're lazy and look at a couple big plays because last time I checked, he doesn't have Stephon Diggs. Jalen Waddle's good, but he's not Stephon Diggs. And he's got a couple of other guys that got speed all over the damn field. They value your opinion until it sounds suicidal. That's when they cut the mic. So it's very important to try to have a good ear. Agree? Big O, that is one great, beautiful hat. When the NFL was sponsored by Stars, I love the vintage gear clothing. Thank you, sir. I only wear that logo. I do not wear the whale. I will not wear the whale. I hate that logo. It's a terrible logo. Dolphins, got to get away from that stinking logo. Let's see. Minka wants to come back to Miami, says Timothy. Well, they already have a safety, and his name is Javon Holland. Glennon could throw it out of the stadium and watch it leave that neck, though. Yeah, that neck. Cal Gross says health is everything. Amen to that, sir. Hawaii Dolphin fan is in the house. Boom Whitaker says, if Flo says best players play, why is Austin Jackson still starting? Pipe Man Slim saying Polygon making another run now. It has held pretty strong out of during this consolidation period. That is one of the coins that has actually held pretty damn strong, even though it has dropped like others have dropped. It's at 212 now. It had a little bit of a dip there. If it gets under 2, it is buying time for those of you that have no Polygon. Go get it, baby. Go get it. Bitcoin at 48. It did go up a little bit. It did go to like 50, I think it was, right? I think it got to 50. Did it 49 something? Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, 49, like 49.8 or something like that. Now it's at 48.2 right there. Consolidation time. V-Chain's at 8.5 cents. Telling you, Polkadot. It's at 26.45. Some good deals in crypto right now. Some really good deals. Don't forget, by the way, you can also make a donation to Cash App or Venmo, and that's Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. G-Firm says Kyle Polar's in his pro day threw the ball 50 yards through the uprights on one knee, still flopped. I know, I was there. I was at the Senior Bowl. I was on the sidelines watching him make that throw. So, yeah. Yep, Kyle Bowler's hell of an arm, dude. Hell of an arm. Could not do anything with it, but one hell of an arm. Let's see. The newer Dolphins logo looks like a dead whale. I never buy merch with the new logo. Yeah, no, me neither. Every time I see something really cool that then has a new logo on it, I always then put, well, you ruined it because of the new logo. If you put the old logo on it, then that would look really cool. But the new logo kind of ruins everything. You know, it's just a terrible, terrible logo. God. That and the Marlins logo by Jeffrey Loria. Oh my God, is that terrible? I'm so shocked as to so many people think it's so easy to throw 5-yard passes in the NFL. So why doesn't everybody do it? Throw a 5-yard route with accuracy and watch it get taken to the house. Whatever, man. What are you going to do? It's people just don't really understand. Missed our show this AM. We're going on right now. We're on, baby. You're not missing anything. Big O, you mess around with that ESPN playoff machine simulator? No, I have not. Logan, I'm not doing any of that, bro. I don't really care about the playoffs right now. We'll talk about it in week 17 and 18. And we'll see if they actually have a realistic chance. Right now, it's mental masturbation. The 1-7 start buries you to the point that it's really hard to make the playoffs. They need so many things to happen. And I'm sorry, I'm not sitting there worried about this team losing and that team losing and that team. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not doing that. Okay? I'm going to enjoy next week when they kick the Jets' ass. And then we'll watch them get ready for the Saints and Tennessee and the Patriots. And let's see if they can win those games. And as things develop, then we'll do that. But I got a lot of things to do with my life than to waste my time with a simulator. Okay? You got a female simulator? So I could just spin the wheel for threesomes? Halle Berry. Whoa. Sofia Vergara. Yeah. All right. There we go. That's the simulator I want. Okay? Get me that simulator. Big O, do you think it's possible to move Gesicki to wide receiver instead of a tight end? Why? I don't know. What's the big deal, bro? He's fine at tight end, so he doesn't block. A lot of tight ends don't block. It's a mismatch. That's what you use him for. Listen, the fact that these idiots put him on the sidelines, that's not my problem. That's them. I mean, they don't play Matt Collins. So I can't, they started the season with Malcolm Brown at starting instead of Gaskin. I can't explain what Flo does, dude. You understand what I'm saying? Flo wanted to make it work with Brissett over Tua. Don't kid yourself. Okay? Flo took forever to move Austin Jackson to left guard. I can't explain anything that they do on offense. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. They don't know what they're doing. Not the head coach, not the offensive coordinators, not the O-line. The O-line coach is the worst coach in the history of the Miami Dolphins. Do you understand that? Okay, Pepe Le Pew is the worst. He's worse than Cam Cameron. He's the worst coach. He's worse than Tom Olivadotti. And that's saying something. Okay, this is the worst coach ever hired in the history of the Miami Dolphins. Listen to me. The worst coach ever. There's never been a worse coach ever hired in the 55-year history of the Dolphins, 56, whatever this is, than Pepe Le Pew. So I can't answer anything that goes on offense. So the problem is you've been polluted by the dummies that run the Miami Dolphins. So, I can't help you. There's nothing wrong with Mike Gesicki. There's everything wrong with Flo and his offensive coaches. Okay? I hope I'm pretty clear on that. I think I've tried to be pretty clear on this from the get-go. Okay? Flo doesn't know jack crap about offense, and he's been an absolute cancer to the team on offense. He's been part of the reason why. No. He's the sole reason why you are now playing with a playoff calculator, whatever the hell that thing is called, because all the screw-ups and stupid decisions he's made throughout the year put him in this position. So now they got to kill themselves to try to get in because of all the dumb decisions that Flo has made. So I can't defend any of that. There's nothing wrong with Gesicki. All right? You can use Gesicki as a tight end, not a problem. You can have another tight end that can block and catch and use two tight ends. Gesicki is too good to not use and create a mismatch with that dude. There is really no way to quantify who was the worst coach ever. Really was. No, there is. All the players are developing except the offensive line. All of them are playing. Everyone that's playing, all the draft picks, they're all developing. All of them. The only two that don't develop is because they can't play. Hunter has 4 tight ends in front of him, and Noah has 2 starting corners in front of him. That's it. Those 2 guys, they have no opportunity to play, so we won't know if they're ever going to be any good or not. But all the other picks are playing, and none of the linemen are developing. So Pepe Le Pew is the worst coach in the history of the Miami Dolphins. He's better off going to the Casbah, baby. Let's see. What do we have here? Based on schedule strength, I've actually looked at every team above us and their schedules, with every team above us playing each other over the next 4 weeks. It's greatly in our favor as long as we win. Well, we'll find out down the stretch. That stuff, I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Big O, 5 games away, NFL stadiums versus Dolphins that are on your bucket list. Sports Growth should sponsor that. 5 away games. Well, definitely 2 of them right off the bat, I can tell you. You got to go to Green Bay. You got to go to Lambeau Field. And you got to go to Arrowhead, right? Why? Only one's left. That's it. There are no other original stadiums left. Am I right? I'm pretty sure. I'm 1,000% right here on this. Only 2 left. Rams moved out of the Coliseum, which would have been another one, but now they've got their new stadium. I was able to go see the Rams in the Coliseum against the Seahawks 2 years ago, I think it was. What a great experience. That was fun. But, okay. All right, so Packers, Chiefs. I want to go Seattle. NFL, right? This is what I'm doing NFL. Oh, well, but I've been to Jerry's World, but okay, Jerry's World because of the stadium and what it is. Let's see. What would be the fifth one? I do like the Falcon Stadium, the Mercedes-Benz. That one's nice. Trying to think of what would it be. What would be the fifth one? Well, there's no Candlestick anymore, sir. That's gone. Oh, you know what, NorCal? You got it. You're right. Even though it's been remodeled like a spaceship, Soldier Field. There we go. That's the fifth one. Good one, NorCal. Thank you. Soldier Field. That's it. There you go. There you go. Well, that's right. The Bills is one. I've been there, but that's a dump. That's a terrible stadium. I've been there. That's just, it's bad. Orchard Park, ugh. It's a bad stadium. There's nothing there to go for that stadium. You know what I'm saying? It's just, ugh. When you go to other stadiums, you'll see why, you know. But I'm with NorCal. Chicago would be my fifth one. Just because, and by the way, hurry up because they're going to move out to the suburbs. So that thing's going to be gone in a few years. Buffalo or Pittsburgh. I mean, I would have if it was Three Rivers, then yeah, I would have gone to Pittsburgh. But Heinz Field, yeah, whatever. I'll go check it out. It's like going to the Buck Stadium or something like that. Yeah, Vikings, whatever. But I'm going to go with Chicago because it has history. I'm going to go with Green Bay's history. I'm going to go with Kansas City's history. I'm going to go with Dallas's just sick, monstrous thing. And what was the other one I said? Oh, Seattle. Seattle because of that whole Northwest vibe and 12th man stuff and, all that kind of stuff. So that might be an experience. There you go. Go to Seattle for the game. Go find Jimi Hendrix. What's it called? No, not Hendrix. Cobain, right? Is it No, both are there, right? Cobain and Hendrix, right? So go visit those and then get the hell out because the homeless people will bother you too much. That's it. Have you been to New Orleans? I am going to the Finns game there, Big O. Any tips on restaurants? Dude, just go what's that? Just on Bourbon Street, you'll find all kinds of great places to eat there. The stadium's a dump. The Superdome looks really cool on the outside, but it's really a dump. But it has a nice shape and all that. It's an experience, man. You get to go and have some fun, but because it's a great town to go party. But the stadium really isn't anything. It has a cool shape outside, but inside it's nothing. Let's see. Hank Goldberg's left nut says, I was just in Vegas this weekend. The Stones played there. Oh, you know what? That new Vegas stadium does look kind of cool. I do want to see that. Definitely. Oh, what's worse stadium, Tampa or Jacksonville? Well, they're new, right? I mean, I don't know what it's called now. They remodeled the Jacksonville Stadium. So that was the Alltel Stadium and all that. So it's the same stadium from years ago. It's not a bad stadium, that Alltel Stadium, by the way. And the new Tampa Stadium's all right. It's not a bad stadium. You're talking about the Sombrero, dude. That was the dump. But the Sombrero's been gone forever. They've got the new stadium there. So it's a nice stadium. I'm not sitting there freaking out or anything, but it's a nice stadium. I remember how bad of a dump Qualcomm was before the Chargers left. All toilets were plugged up. Yeah. Yeah. I've been to Qualcomm, but just to kind of see the stadium, not for a game. And yeah, it was house. I mean, it was old. You're right. It was, but that's the cookie cutter stadiums. That's Three Rivers and all that kind of stuff. The Cincinnati one, what was it called? Riverfront, right? All these kind of stadiums were all kind of the same in this. They were built in the same mold. So that was that era of stadiums. Connor Smith, thank you, sir. Little love on the super chat. Fins up. We didn't take a break, did we, Sean? Let me take a rest here. Hour number 1 is done. Hour number 2 is next.
When you're ready to purchase a new home loan or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727 or online at adreamlending.com. When protecting your family is your priority, there's nothing more important than a roof above the people you love. Call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs, led by their highly crafted, skilled, and professional roof mechanics. All of their previous customers have an opportunity to enter their bi-weekly drawings to receive free an exterior impact metal door. Please call for more details. That's Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com, 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411. Trust Tommy to fortify and protect what's most important to you, your family. The Big O Radio Show is looking for an experienced salesperson in the radio or TV business. The candidate must have at least 5 years of sales experience in the broadcast business over the last 10 years. Please email your phone number and resume to BigORadioShow@yahoo.com. That's BigORadioShow@yahoo.com. Looking for an aggressive person who can help our platform expand into many avenues in our business. Reach out if you are the person that's able to make the difference. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty, welcome aboard. We're already really in hour number 2 technically, but we gave you a long hour number 1. Appreciate all of you out there keeping it locked. Sean Campbell says Belle Glade chiming in. Yeah, Sean, baby, all about Belle Glade. Yeah. I'll be in New Orleans also for the game, man. It's going to be loud. I hope we get a win. I'll be out there with Ricky Jackson. Wow, very nice. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you, Sean, as always a strong supporter of the show. Appreciate you there. And for those of you that don't know, I was born in Belle Glade, Florida. They're in the far northwest corner of West Palm Beach. What is it? Pahokee, Immokalee, Belle Glade? Is that how it goes? I got to look at the map. But I think it's that triangle there, that a ton of talent comes out of there. Not me, but like real talent that comes out of that area, right? Edge and Fred Taylor and Santonio Holmes and it's endless. Ricky Jackson, obviously, just a ton of players that have come out of there in that area over the years. Everybody loves recruiting in that area because it is a hotbed of absolute talent at the bottom of of Lake Okeechobee, where those cities are. Andre says, "Muck baby, yes." And a lot of a lot of Cubans back in the late 50s and early 60s, when they came from Cuba and they were looking for work, they moved to that area because of all the sugarcane fields and all that stuff. So they were able to find a lot of work. Nowadays, over the last 20 years, it's the Haitian community that has, as they've come over, they've gone there to find work also. So I know that you've got your Hispanics. I know you've got a large portion of your Haitian community there also in Belgrade, if I'm correct. So it's been an area that has attracted certain immigrants because of the sugarcane fields. So yeah, I was born there, and I think I was there for only like 6 months, and then we moved back. And when I moved back, moved to Miami, obviously, because it is what it is. That was my first 6 months. I'm not moving back to anything. Sean says, yes, big farming community. Now they have machines to do a lot of the harvesting now. Yeah, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, I'm sure. Let's see. Irving says, Brett, stop hiding in the chat and stalking people. I don't know what the hell that is. Funny, Josh Allen caused the original Dolphin brass to that prick that prompted the long flirtation with Watson. Dolphins were and are convinced that Allen's mobility and big arm will rule the AFC East for a decade. Maybe, maybe not. You know what I mean? Big O, what do you think about Tua's quick release? It's never talked about. His intelligence, his quick release, his ball placement, his accuracy, anticipation. He has all the traits you need to be a great quarterback. Okay. The only thing I can never argue with anybody, and it's the same concern I have, that's durability, dude. That's it. I find it asinine for anybody to even doubt whether that kid can play or not. When you're that smart and that crafty, and your arm clearly is good enough to make any throw you need, I don't know how you doubt the young man. Outside of, if you're not convinced he can stay healthy, I can't argue with you on that one. But man, when we talk about a quarterback's abilities, I'll go with it. I'll go at you all day long on that. All day long. I've watched so many Dolphin quarterbacks that could not anticipate, that did not have the accuracy, that did not have the ball placement, that did not have the intelligence like Tua. That's the funny part, is that I saw more of that. Over the years, I saw guys that were pretty athletic. I saw guys that had a pretty damn good arm. Didn't make them a good quarterback. So, Big O crazy, the Miami Miracle 3 years ago. We only have one player on offense from that team, Parker. I'm watching in a bar across from Staples Center. Went for last Wade versus LeBron. Okay. Big O, if he's so good, why does this organization want to move on from him? I'm not sure it's the organization. Okay? Let me just put it that way. Maybe it's a fraction of the organization. Which faction is that fraction? I have no idea. Let's see. Wow, Printing and Graphics says, seen a stat somewhere that Tua only has one batted pass this year, or maybe his career. Our defense gets 1 to 2 per game. Not bad for an undersized QB. You remember Tannehill? Tannehill used to get that. They used to bat his passes all the time. You know? Baldinger called Tua's footwork elite. Omar mentioned the source that had Tua as the second best pocket presence. These two things alone are what make a QB successful in this league, and what we've been missing. Hey, Frank, don't come in with facts now. People don't want to hear facts, because then you're a two-and-on. Oh, I know it's early for draft questions, but I'm thinking we should sign a couple of veteran O-linemen in free agency and draft a wide receiver and running back with our first 2 picks. Troy, I would the problem with all of that is I agree with you on the lineman part. I would go sign 2 veteran linemen now. You know, this stupid crap that you go all young the way Flo wanted to do, that makes no sense. I would sign 2 linemen. But again, maybe the front office wants to, but the head coach doesn't. So, you know, I don't know if you have a head coach that's working with your front office the way he's supposed to. So that's the thing. As for picks, Troy, I got to be right in the middle of that draft, knowing who's available and what's coming out to be able to pick that player, because you could want a running back at 18, right? Okay, you could want Najee Harris. But at this point right now, let's all be honest, except for my boy Omar Kelly, who is completely out of his mind. Who the hell's picking Najee Harris over Jalen Phillips? Who in their right mind outside of my boy Omar? Nobody. That doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? So as badly as you want the running back, at that moment, if you're taking the pass rusher, and there was a gamble there, but so far the gamble's paying off. And I don't think I have to convince most of you that a pass rusher is 1,000 times more valuable than a running back. And when you haven't fixed your offensive line, the running back is not going to have the kind of season you want him to have, unless he's Barry Sanders that can change directions on a dime and you're so quick that it's impossible to catch you. Yeah, Barry Sanders could do that sometimes. The line was completely blocked. He had no hole, but he created something and got 47 yards out of it. Only Barry Sanders could do that. Barry would lose 2, 3, 6 yards on a play, but then gain you 37 on another one. But there are no Barry Sanders. I don't think I've seen a Barry Sanders since Barry Sanders. Am I wrong there? Anybody that's old enough, right? There's no running back in the NFL that's Barry Sanders level. Am I wrong here? No, right? So there's only one of those kind of guys. Another one will show up. I don't know when. Maybe we're due pretty close to it already, but very few people are like that. So I don't know what's going on with that offense, man, to be honest with you. David says, Allen always had a huge days against the Dolphins. Ross Flo begin their fear and loathing over the QB position. Is Allen just having an off year versus 2020? Or is this Allen for the years? We'll see. And again, are you sure that Greer is part of it? Are you sure it's not owner driven? Are you sure it wasn't head coach driven? I don't know what was going on with the Watson thing. That's my problem with the Watson thing. Somebody had interest. I don't believe everybody had interest in that building. I'm just telling you. That's the feeling I get. This wasn't a across the board type of decision. That's just me. No, none of us really know. Let's see. Looks like Phillips is going to be a star, even better than Jason Taylor. Well, let's slow way down there. Okay, slow way down. All right, let's not overreact either. Being better than JT. That's nobody's been better than JT in the history of the Miami Dolphins. So that's a lot to say. Oh, yeah. What do we have here? So Dolphins off this week. Again, I want to remind you, we are not at Sports Grill this week. All right. Sean is off. He's a little depressed because he doesn't get his garlic teriyaki rolls, right? What is it? Garlic barbecue teriyaki. What the hell is it again? What is it that you eat? Is it garlic barbecue teriyaki? Is that it? I don't know. It's like there's like 3 flavors mixed up in there. What is it you do again?
It is barbecue garlic.
Barbecue garlic. There you go. So I know he's missing his barbecue garlic wings, which he just loves. By the way, the barbecue wings are just great. Not only are they special grilled wings, great. My wife had the barbecue wings the other day, and I had one, and it was awesome. I hadn't had the barbecue ones in a long time because I usually get the special grilled, But man, that barbecue wings, that was so good. George Arthur, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, awesome show, my man. Enough said. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. What else do we have here? Oh, you know what we have to do, actually? We have to get ready for Omar Kelly. Omar Kelly's going to join us here at 11:30. So we'll have a little fun with O, and we'll talk a little sports with him. We'll talk a little off-week Dolphins with the man, the myth, the legend. That is Omar Kelly. Big O Dolphins play at Soldier Field next year. Have a Sports Grill sponsor the tailgate Dolphins tailgate following in Chicago. Yeah, but it's not that simple. Okay. I wish it was that simple, but we will try. I'll see. But remember, in order for me to broadcast in those kind of places, I need the Ethernet line and all that. I need a hard line for the video and all that. We can't do Wi-Fi. So it's not that simple, you know what I mean? But these are things that maybe down the line we can do. Now, remember, we're going to be traveling for if everything goes well, the East-West Shrine game, we're going to be traveling for, going to Vegas. I'm hoping in a couple of weeks. We want to go to the Combine, the Senior Bowl, all that stuff, and hopefully the NFL draft also in Vegas. So we're going to be out on the road for a lot of these other things that you guys can also hook up with and meet us there. I hope to obviously set everything up again in the draft with Tommy Rockers so we can own that bar, because it's kind of a Dolphin bar in Vegas, Tommy Rockers. So we got to get Tommy on already and start talking a little bit about that too. So we got a bunch of things that we've got planned that we want to do. You know what I'm saying? But I've been working behind the scenes because unfortunately, it's been near impossible to find an experienced salesperson. So I've been the salesperson meeting with all the sponsors. You know what I'm saying? And don't feel sorry for me, but it's a lot of work. And by the way, if any of you sponsors want to step up and help us grow so we can cover all of these events and give South Florida sports fan around the world the kind of coverage that they need of their South Florida teams, because we know the shitty-ass QAM and 790 will never do it. Those cheap bastards aren't ever going to spend any kind of money. All they do is cut costs every single day, fire more people, and they'll lose Joe now in another month or two, and after that, it's not like they're going to replace Joe or anything like that. They can't, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? So you're not ever going to get any real coverage from stations that have to play politics anyways, because they're in bed with all the teams and they're afraid of saying anything negative. So this is the show for the South Florida sports fan all over the world. So this is the one that, we all got to team up as a community. That's what this show is. It's your show. It's the community show. So it's all about smashing that like button, sharing the link, subscribing, visiting our sponsors, telling them about us, that you visited them because of us, by the way, which thank you. You have been mentioning it while you have visited the sponsors, all of those things. And we need more sponsors. We need new sponsors so we can travel and cover all of these things. I want to be covering NBA Summer League. Okay. I want Ira Winderman sitting next to me in Las Vegas when he's done talking with Riles or Spo or whatever, and coming over and sitting with us and talking about everything. I want to be personally at the Summer League games, watching the games, maybe getting some NBA executives on with us, that kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff we want to do. If the Marlins want to spend, like really spend, okay, I want to go to the Winter League baseball meetings. But we got to do it together. Okay. They're not going to do it anywhere else. This is the only place that's got the balls and wants to do it. Okay. So we want to be the show that covers everything South Florida sports. And for our staff, we got already a great bunch of insiders. We're going to add more. Okay. We're going to add more. That's what we want to do. And if you guys have ideas where you want us to expand, things that you think that we should add, send them in, man. Send them in on the text line at 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. On Twitter at Big O Show, my DMs, the email Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. All of that, man. All right, let's get ready. Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. That is next. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
Howdy, there he is. There was a comment already on the chat board. Normally there are some negatives, but this one says Omar the GOAT. How about that, baby? There you go. That's how you want to start the segment right there. Omar,
I'm used to the negatives.
I know, but we're both used to the negatives.
I'm more comfortable in the negatives.
You feed off of it, right? Is that what I'm hearing? You feed off of it?
Not really. I don't really have anything to prove to anybody. So I just, I'm used to the criticism, uncomfortable by the praise.
By the way, what did you think of the comments from Chris Sims? Did you see those comments?
I think they were old, or did he adjust them?
No, these were new. These were new,
fresh ones.
Yeah, this was like fresh. Like he. I guess you didn't see it then, right?
No,
is that what it is?
I Trevor Siemian, but I heard that like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago.
Well, no, I know he's not. He's been kind of a Tua detractor. Let me.
Okay.
Are you just dumb or are you mean? Which one is it? The guy hurt his finger halfway through the first quarter. And again, where I'd argue, and then see, this is where I'm going to sound like a Tua hater. Listen, the whole world can throw the ball 5 yards over the middle. You don't need to draft a quarterback at number 5 in the draft to throw the ball 5 or 6 yards over the middle. Or like Logan Ryan said, run to the left and throw the ball 1 yard into the flat. I mean, it's a real thing. So, you put Taysom Hill in that situation, yeah. But they asked Taysom Hill to throw the ball 50 yards down the field, 40 yards down the field, 30 yards down the field. Things they don't even ask Tua. So idiots on Twitter, shut up. You're an idiot. Get off Twitter and learn something else. Watch something else. You're an idiot. Dumb or you mean? Which one is it?
So there you go.
Hurt his finger.
Wait a minute. Okay, there you go. So and obviously the Tuanons like myself obviously are not happy with those stupid ass comments because he doesn't just throw 5 yards. Logan Ryan learned that after he ran his mouth. They put together a nice video of him getting burned several times, 20 yards downfield.
Didn't Logan Ryan run his mouth after the game, or did
right after the game? He said it, and then he apologized yesterday for the comments because he was just being a smartass. He meant no disrespect. He was really cordial to Tua. I will give him. For those of you that don't know, Logan apologized for his comments yesterday. Let me read his comments to at least be fair, because I thought he at least, was stand up about what he said and kind of backtracked from it. So he apologized, and this is what he said to Tua. I want to apologize to Tua. I didn't mean disrespect. He goes, I made a lighthearted comment about me playing quarterback. He said, I think he's a good player. He's humble. He approaches the game the right way, and he made game-winning plays to beat us, and they won the game. I'm not a sore loser. I don't hate on players in the league. I have a lot of respect for players in this league. I've been in this league, and he's doing it the right way. I wish him the best. I want him to know there's no disrespect and nor any bad beef there. Just a comment that went the wrong way. I was trying to be funny. It wasn't funny, and I don't want to disrespect him. So
here's the thing. His initial comments were, I was a left-handed quarterback like Tua, and I could throw it 2 yards.
Yeah, he said, Ryan said that he was trying to be funny because he played high school quarterback. A lot like Tua, I was a lefty. I could throw 2 yards to the left. So, yes, that was his quote. But, again, he was just trying to be kind of a smart ass.
We're digging way too deep here. Like, okay, he says he's a lefty like Tua, and he could throw it 2 yards. Did he say like Tua? I guess people.
Are we digging too deep, or do I see this with any other quarterback in the league?
Man,
that's my point. That's my whole point there. Like,
whatever.
Mac Jones throws 3 passes, and if Tua would have done it, brother, it would have broken the freaking internet. You know what I mean? And by the way, again, let me remind people, Belichick's not a genius. Don Shula won a Super Bowl the same way with Bob Greasy throwing 6 passes, because once you have a monster line and 3 backs, he said, why am I going to pass? I'm just going to shove the ball down your throat, and you're not going to stop it. So that's nothing new, by the way. That was done 50 years ago before Belichick. Just for the hell of it, just want to throw things out there.
I think we're all being hypercritical and hypersensitive of a guy who owns a 10-7 record, who is one of the 3 quarterbacks in the last 3 draft cycles that owns a winning record. Joe Burrow doesn't own one. Trevor Lawrence doesn't own one. You get Justin Herbert doesn't own one. It is what it is. You could twist and argue about his style of play and his style of offense. I'm sorry, but I have friends who are coaches in the college and high school ranks, and they go through coaching tutorials and all kinds of things and lectures and sessions, and they've done a lot of that stuff with the RPO offense. And you know who's the player that people are teaching the RPO offense with? It's Tua Tagovailoa, not Matt.
By the way, do you know who they used to also slam for short passes all the time? Tom Brady. Remember that? A few years back. Oh, Tom Brady's throwing short passes all the time. Dude, he's doing whatever the defense gives him. He'll take it, and then he'll hit you over the top.
Let's not compare. I don't want to compare.
It's not a comparison.
You mentioned Tom Brady and Tua in the same sentence, and
I'll mention Joe Montana too. He killed you with short passes also at times. There were games where they don't have to go deep all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? Because
you know what, we can make excuses and praise
that's what their offense called for. It's not out of desperation that's all Tua can do in this offense. He's limited. That's by choice.
When Tua and I say this, and I love Tua. I know who he is as a quarterback. I'm comfortable with who he is as a quarterback. But when he produces a top 15 offense, we can sing his praises and serenade and makes little songs about him. And right now he's being
easy. Just get him a line in a running game and real coaches. He'll easily produce a top 15 offense.
Yeah,
it's not his fault. I heard you talk about that on with Hyde, and I disagree with you on that one. It's not his fault they're not a top offense, dude. He's not the one that's not the productive one. It's the offensive line that's not productive.
It's everybody.
The running game that's not productive. It's the coaches that aren't productive.
It's everybody but him, right?
No. Gesicki and Gesicki and Waddle do their job along with
Gesicki doesn't do
Tua.
his job well. Listen, Tua.
You got to get off the blocking stuff already, bro.
I'm sorry. He doesn't play half. He doesn't play more than half the game now.
Well, that's because they're idiots. I can't answer for idiots. Okay, just because Dolphin offensive coaches are freaking morons, I have no. I
Who
can't
can
answer.
you
that.
give Gesicki to that would turn him into this elite player that you think he is?
Any great offensive coach would make him a
Sean Payton.
star. Sean, Andy Reid, you name it, bro. I'll even give the guy in Arizona a little love, Kingsbury. He would get Gesicki because when you have an offensive weapon like that, it's hard to cover that dude. So if you have a good quarterback that's accurate, I'm just gonna burn you left and right with him.
No, it's not really hard to cover. No disrespect to. I'm not covering him with a linebacker. I might cover him with a safety, and I really can just cover him with a cornerback because
he'll catch you with one hand over the top on all those chumps.
Okay, all right. He's got to get open first.
He doesn't have to. That's the beauty. He doesn't have to be open. Omar, I guess you're not watching Mike Gesicki. He doesn't have to be open to catch passes, my man. And most of his highlights are in traffic. They're not. He's not by himself with 3 yards of separation.
Explain this to me. If he's such a good in traffic jump ball catcher, why isn't he a weapon in the red zone?
Again, I can't answer stupidity.
Two sets of coaches.
Why doesn't Mac Hollins play? I can't answer stupidity.
All right.
Why do you start Malcolm Brown at the beginning of the season over Myles Gaskin? I can't answer stupidity. Why were you dead set on trying to play Brissett over Tua? I can't answer stupidity. Why did you stick with Austin Jackson left tackle for so long before you moved him to left guard?
Options.
I can't answer stupidity. I can't explain stupidity. And Flo and his offensive coaches are loaded with stupidity.
I'm not going to defend. I'm not going to defend them.
You can't defend anything I said because everything.
I can. Yeah, I can. The offense was trash with Jacoby Brissett as a quarterback. The offense and the offensive line got better with Tua Tagovailoa as a quarterback. What team?
Because he reads and reacts quickly.
Huh? Yeah.
He reads and reacts quickly.
But that was his strength. That's the reason you drafted him.
Well, it's the NFL, baby. You better read and react quickly in the NFL, or your ass is going to be on the floor like Kevin Bacon in Animal House.
And we can argue. We can argue about weaponry and talents. It's Jalen Waddle. Really, Mike Gesicki can easily be taken out of games, and teams have taken him out of games, and it's all good. I get. Let me. And we keep going back and forth with this Mike Gesicki song and dance and bro, they play 2 tight ends 60% of the time. Mike isn't even on the field when they play 2 tight ends.
Can't answer
for stupidity. Yes. Okay.
Can't answer for stupidity, bro. Why does
but it's the RPO offense, so you never know.
Hold on. Waddle, Gesicki, and Hollins.
It's the RPO offense, so you never know when it's going to be a run play. And with Mike, you can't put him on the line, so you can't play him in the 2 tight end package. He can only play out wide. He can only play the flex because of his limitations.
Yeah, and because the RPO doesn't work nearly as much because your run really isn't a threat. Those linebackers are going to flood the middle of the field, which makes it a lot harder. But if you don't play Mike Gesicki, who is a difference maker in the middle of the field because he could go up in the air, and with an accurate quarterback like Tua, dude, Gesicki, Oronde Gadsden, you can do a lot of the same things that you used to do with Oronde. You could throw it to him, and he's covered, but as long as you put it up there and Tua's incredibly accurate, Gesicki will come down with the ball. And the defender, who obviously can't jump nearly as high as Gesicki, will end up getting burned every single time. I'm just saying, dude. I mean, I've watched him catch it in traffic over and over and over again. Come on, man. Go look at the highlights. It's like you're forgetting that he catches it in traffic.
Listen, I'm not going to turn this into a Gesicki diss fest. Gesicki is what he's going to be. He's going to be paid by somebody. I don't know if it's going to be them. you know, they clearly would rather have a full service tight end, as would I. It makes more sense, especially in this offense where you don't know whether you're going to run or pass at the line of scrimmage. And now you're at the point where, and this is what I give them credit for, they don't put players in positions where they will be struggle. So Gesicki can't play in anything other than he's now a big split end receiver. And I'd rather a good split end receiver. I would rather go get a good receiver as opposed to playing.
Okay, but that's not what's going on right now. You can't just go, hey, let's go to the transfer portal in the NFL. Let's just bring somebody.
Free agency.
You have what you have right now. So
the discussion is about
if you're a smart offensive staff, Gesicki, Jalen Waddle, and Matt Collins would never leave the field.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a fundamental question. Let me ask you a fundamental question, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Bears wide receiver. The name escapes
me.
Robinson. Allen Robinson. You had a big heart on for him last year, okay?
I love him.
Okay. I'm going to give one player $13 million a year APY. Is it going to be Allen Robinson or is it going to be Mike Gesicki? Who benefits this team better?
Oh God,
Thank
I'm probably going to go Gesicki because I can draft another wide receiver.
What?
I already have Gesicki on my roster,
What?
so I'm going to pay him and I'm going to draft a wide receiver and I'm going to save me my free agent money. That's what I'm going to do. I need a wide receiver.
You're going to have to pay one, so you're going to give it to Gesicki.
Yeah, I'd rather
you
go
have
draft.
$13 million to spend on one big ticket item. Are you going to give it to Gesicki, or are you going to give it to Allen Robinson?
I'd rather draft a young receiver. That way, I have Waddle and I have Gesicki, and
even though you already have a young tight end.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That I have two tight ends now that I can develop with Hunter and Gesicki, so I can attack you with Tua with two tight ends. I love a two tight end set. I get Waddle and I draft another young receiver, and I save myself the heartache of the free agent money now. And so I'd rather
but it's still money. It's still money.
I'd rather keep the tight end that I've developed, and I think he's one of the best pass catching tight ends in the NFL. So I'd rather keep a guy that I already have and I know. You know what I mean?
I go the complete opposite direction. We have a philosophical difference.
I spend my $15 million on an offensive lineman is what I spend it on. I go get me
that wasn't a question. It's
no, but that's what I would buy in free agency. I'm not buying a wide receiver in free agency.
Okay, so you're buying a wide receiver pretending to be a tight end. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm going to buy a tight end. He's a big body guy. He adds another dimension to your offense. I think you can find a wide receiver in the draft. The draft is always loaded with wide receivers. If you know what you're doing, which the Dolphins do, they found Jalen Waddle, they can find other guys.
At six, name me the last wide receiver they found that's not a first-round pick. Or Jarvis Landry, second round.
I'm only worried about this front office. I don't worry about the past.
I'm referring to this front
office. I'm worried about these 3 years. They have done an excellent job.
3 years. Okay.
That's all I worry about. That's all I measure.
Excellent job.
That's all I measure. I'm not worried about what happened.
Excellent job doing what? Excellent job doing what? Excellent job doing what?
Drafting.
Okay.
All the players are developing. The only reason they don't develop on the O-line is because they have no coaching, but everybody else is developing. The only two guys that aren't developing, they don't play. So we won't find out about Iggy until they play him, and we won't find out about Hunter until they play him. But everybody else is developing on defense. On offense, your three weapons are developing. Tua's just fine. Gesicki's fine, and so is Waddle.
They didn't draft Gesicki. Don't give him credit for that.
They did. They drafted him 3 years ago, Omar.
The 4 years ago. No, this is
this is third year, right? Isn't it?
This is fourth. He's a free agent.
Whatever. Okay, so even better then. The two guys on offense that they drafted, weapons wise, they're excelling.
Oh, okay, Myles Gaskin. That's fair.
That too. So no, I didn't even throw Myles Gaskin in there, but for a seventh rounder, he's been terrific with no line. You give that kid a line.
They've been excelling with the 28th offense in the NFL. Gotcha.
Well, I mean, you can, again, I can't answer stupidity. I mean, you put the Three Stooges at offense. I can't answer that. That's not that the front where the front office screwed up right now is what it seems like is hiring Flo now. Because he turned on them and he's turned into McDaniels
I disagree with you on the hiring of Flo. If we look at what the turnaround is and the players that are improving and the defense that's improving, Flo clearly has saved his job.
probably.
And he's
Unfortunately.
not probably. He has. And he's clearly outperforming the GM in terms of duties and responsibilities, because the GM's job, what's holding this team back? Talent on the offensive line. Yeah, you argue it is coaching. It's both.
He wanted to get rid of the three veterans in Karras, who was helping New England now. He wanted to get rid of Flo. Dude, what GM wants to pay Flowers and Van Noy and then release them the next year? Come on, Omar. Let's go. Let's use common sense, dude. Let's use common sense. Who brought in Jacoby Brissett, bro? Who decided to put Three Stooges as an offensive coordinator?
Because he's responsible for all.
He's responsible.
He's responsible for every transaction in the offseason.
He's responsible for the guy. Dude, he did the same thing. What you're not paying attention to is he's no different than Gase and Philbin. No different. The guys he can't agree with, he gets rid of. He got rid of all his veteran players, and he has no veteran coaches. I mean, there's something developing in front of everybody's eyes, and people like you refuse to see it, that this is a guy that can't handle somebody else's opinion. And he gets rid of everybody around him that has any leadership whatsoever. None of his coaches have any leadership. None of them are established. They can't answer back like Chan Gailey could, because Chan Gailey forgot more offense than he'll ever know. All right. And you look at all his players. He got rid of Van Noy. He got rid of the Cousins. He got rid of all the veteran players on this team. He went young, so nobody can answer to him.
The plan was to go young, though.
What I'm told is he walks around that building like Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels, that he knows everything, and he tells everybody that he knows everything. Okay? Dig into it, my brother. You will find out. He has turned into Matt Patricia. All right? He thinks he knows everything.
It's easy to lump in all Patriots assistants with the same thing, and I'm not saying that things that you
look
said
at the results. Look at it in front of you. Look, it's in front of you. It's happening right in front of your eyes.
The bottom line is, do you win or do you not win?
You don't win. You don't win. You're not getting anywhere, dude. Remember, Wannstedt won 11 games twice and 10 games once. Adam Gase won 10 games. Sperano won 11 games. Don't let that shit blind you. Just because he's got a run here and he saved his ass, he's the one that buried himself from the get-go.
How did he bury
enemy,
from the
just
get-go?
like some of these guys we've had in the past?
Because of coaches? How did he bury himself from the get-go? Because of the coaches that he hired?
Because of the coaches he hired. Exactly. And Brissett and getting rid of the veteran players that he should have kept. Karras. He should have kept Flowers. He should have kept the Emmanuel guy. It would have helped the offensive line. He should have kept Van Noy. He should have kept Bobby McCain at the beginning of the year to help the young safeties transition. But he wanted to get rid of all of these kind of guys. And he wanted to go completely young. It's right in front of you, dude. That's the GM controls the 53. He says what goes and what stays.
No, the coach controls the 53. The GM,
right? I'm sorry. The coach controls the 53. He says who stays and goes, and he's pulled a lot of what Joe Philbin and Adam Gase has pulled. Because I heard the same thing with those guys, and I'm hearing the same thing with this guy. He has walked into the building and he has developed into Josh McDaniels. I'm telling you, it's a fact. Okay. This is a guy that doesn't even like Tua. Okay? Doesn't like Tua.
Listen, I am all of the things that you've said there's a sprinkling of truth inside them, but does it tell the full story? No. I think every decision that they make in lockstep. They discuss it out. They talk it out. They weigh pros and cons. Do I like every single move that they've made? No. Am I going to say that Flo's responsible for every single move that I don't like? No. Because if that's the case, then Flo's also responsible for the draft picks, since he has so much power and influence and control.
He's influenced a couple of draft picks. He has.
Yes. As he should. Chris Greer has flat out told me, my job is to give the coach what he wants, what he needs to win. That's it. It's very simple.
That's what I fear most, dude. I believe we have one of the best front offices in the NFL with McKenzie and Allen and Greer, and I think they hired the wrong guy. And I'm afraid that the wrong guy, if they stick with him, it'll hurt them in the long run. And that's what I hope they realize. But we'll see. We'll see.
When it's time to fire both. When it's time to fire people, just fire both at the same time. Let's just rip one Band-Aid off. But yeah,
I don't want to do that.
No, you're committed to the front office, and
I am totally committed to the front office.
When they build an offensive line, which they've been trying to build for 3 years and done a shitty job, then I'll consider it. But
come on, dude. Reality, common sense tells you, if all the players are developing everywhere else except the O-line, Omar, come on, dude. Come on.
Might be talent that you selected. I never liked it.
Really? You think all 5 of them are swings and misses? So you think Pepe Le Pew is actually a really good coach, and it's that they gave him 5 bad lines?
Did you call him Pepe Le Pew? Are you kidding me?
I've been calling him Pepe Le Pew forever now. That's kind of we're off to the Casbah, baby. Come on. I mean, what do you want me to call him? Jean-Pierre, but Pepe Le Pew, bro. Let's go. It's kind of a French thing. You know, his O-line stinks. So let's talk about a skunk. Pepe Le Pew. Come on.
Hey, listen, they weren't. All right.
So do you really think they're hitting on all their other picks? They're really not.
The other picks
what picks are playing outside of the O-line?
The picks are blossoming. Their picks are blossoming.
No. I'm just saying, what picks are playing outside of the O-line and they're flopping? Which ones? Thank you. Durham Smythe is a hit.
Not their pick.
Okay, but what I'm saying is they're hitting on something late. All their picks are hitting pretty much. They're all productive.
They're young players that are developing.
The guys that are productive aren't playing because there's depth there and there was reasons why they drafted them, whatever. But the O-line, there's no way, Omar, you can imagine that all 5 guys. Plus, I gotta tell you something. I think Dieter will turn into a player, and I've seen enough out of Hunt that I think if you get a really good coach, you can make him something. There's got to be another one of those guys. Another one at least.
Lee has played okay the last couple of weeks.
That's what I'm saying. If you get an O-line coach, you will feel different about some of those guys.
Maybe not.
Have you done what I've done? Have you gone back to go talk to any O-line coaches to ask them about the O-line and the players and the coaching? To go do that, because I know you know a couple.
Yeah,
I know it. So call them, because I've done it, and it's enlightening what they tell you and how they're being coached and what they're doing. They laugh at what the hell's going on.
How do they know they're being coached?
Hey, Omar, there are people in the building that know that they don't have an O-line coach. Okay? Ask people in the building, because they've told me. They're like, I don't even want to talk about that. Okay? That's the kind of response I've gotten from inside the building. I don't even want to talk about that disaster.
Listen.
Okay? That's how they feel about the O-line coach.
Let's hope it gets better, because it's weighing this team down like an anvil. And
I know.
They got nowhere to go but up.
I hope so, man, because they got to take care of that quarterback.
They have improved in a lot of categories in regards to pressure. I mean, pressures have been decreased, sacks have decreased. So props to them for stepping up and playing a little bit better. But is it good? Nah, not really.
What are you working on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out?
I just wrote something on Michael Dieter, and this is kind of his opportunity to be the center of attention for this offense. And I'm working on a piece actually looking at what my concerns were in the offseason and fast forwarding it to now 13 games and seeing where those concerns were and how it played out this year. Yeah,
Right.
if you follow me, because
I
was one of the rare people who had the concern of the offensive line, and here we are.
You
And
were on
kind of sort
target.
of
1,000%. 1,000%.
kind of
You
sort
warned
of
everybody that
assessing,
it was going to be dog shit. Everybody.
because they didn't play very well last year, and everybody was like, "Oh, coaching is going to get them better," and I was just like, I'm not really seeing the talent.
You knew about Pepe Le Pew before us, huh?
No, stop it. And
That's
listen,
what it was.
and when I am assessing what the issues are, I do have to mention Lemieux, Jean-Pierre, and say, hey, I understand this is your first year as an offensive line coach, but it's not just him, because I would argue that just about everybody on the offensive staff is a step above where they should really be.
Oh, no, wasn't this guy coaching kids that were squeezing pimples before they lined up in
No, he was
Okay.
he was an understudy for the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Guy used to be coach of the Raiders.
Cable?
Cable, yes,
Tom Cable? Okay.
yes. He's a Tom Cable protege, and it's just hasn't panned out. It just hasn't.
That apple fell really far from the tree, dude.
Stop! Let's not.
Holy crap. It fell off the tree. It rolled down a hill. It went over a cliff. It got taken by a river all the way down into a waterfall that then fell into a whirlpool that led into the
It's
abyss,
gotten
into
better.
the center of the
It's
earth.
gotten better. It's not good, but it's gotten better. If they can, I'll say this: if they can run the ball consistently, let's get to 3.8 yards per carry for the final 4 games, they'll produce a winning record. And to me, the winning record is the bar, is the goal, should be the expectation. And despite their crappy start, they're on pace to do that if they can take care of business. And that's not easy to do in the NFL.
Just keep the quarterback alive, please. That's all I'm asking. Just keep the quarterback alive. God, they got a chance on hitting on something they haven't hit on since 1983.
Yeah.
They haven't hit on a quarterback since 1983.
And he talked
I don't
about
want this line to ruin the only.
Talked about playing. Well, kind of can't say they haven't hit because Ryan is still an NFL starter. But anyway, but Tua talked about he needs to play better. He needs to play more consistent. He's cut out that interception, and now he talked about third down throws and improving and finding the open receivers and hitting the open receiver. I love Tua because he has a higher standard for himself than his own fan base has for him.
Because he's a great quarterback. That's why. He's a great quarterback in the making. He is getting better under the worst scenarios possible as a rookie. He came off a hip surgery with no offseason, and people still slammed the kid after last year. And now he has still no help on the O-line, and he is finding a way to learn how to play under chaos and make people better. And once you give him a line and give him a running game,
that's what the quarterbacks do.
He will then end up becoming the superstar that he can be easily in this league. But you've got to give him support, dude. Joe Montana had support, and Terry Bradshaw had support, and all the great quarterbacks. When Mahomes is great is because he has support. When he's not great, like last year, he gets his ass kicked because he didn't have an O-line. Doesn't matter who you are, dude. You got to have that support. If Tua gets that support, he has shown you that he, put it this way, Josh Allen can't do what he's doing right now in the same scenario. He would make all kinds of mistakes because he's not accurate. And all those short passes that they're talking about, he would have had several turnovers on those passes.
The same offense, but I hear you.
No, I know, but you run, if he tries to run this offense, he would make a ton more mistakes than even Tua has at this point because he's not as accurate. At least that's the way I see it. Anyway. All right. Have a great weekend, my brother. I appreciate you as always. We will catch up on Monday as they get ready for the stinking Jets.
You too. All right, Leo.
You got it. There you go. Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Welcome aboard. Final hour of the program. Appreciate all of you, as always, keeping it locked and supporting us here on the program. Thank you out there, as always. Enjoy the high, guys, because when we lose and come back down to reality, we will have plenty to argue and blame whoever you feel like blaming for why we are not in the playoffs. Well, I mean, they're not going to be, if they don't make the playoffs, it's all 1-7. It has nothing to do with anything else. 1-7 is 1-7. Ladies and gentlemen, come on. You know, it's near impossible to make the playoffs at 1-7. You need so much help. And, you know, it's just whatever. Not something. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to enjoy the development of Jalen Waddle. I'm going to enjoy the performances of Tua. I'm going to enjoy that I know that Jalen Phillips is getting better, and I am cheering on every time he gets a sack. I love what I'm seeing from Christian Wilkins. I love what I see from Raekwon Davis. I hope Brandon Jones comes back next week. Javon Holland gets me so damn excited. You know, there's a lot of things. My concerns are for the future. It's not even now. Now I'm just living in the moment of enjoying the development of Miami Dolphin players, that they are playing better and better and better. My real concern is that if you don't know how to fix the offense, we will be in this same position over and over and over again. Folks, I watched Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas and Sam Madison and Pat Surtain and Tim Bowens get old before my very eyes. And so did you. No matter if they won 11 games or 10 or whatever, they couldn't fix the offense. I watched Cam Wake run his ass into the ground and never, ever enjoy what he deserved, because we've had a lot of great players come through here that did not get what they deserved. You understand? You don't solve the quarterback and the passing game issue, and we have Ricky Williams running for 1,800 yards, and it means nothing. Folks, if you don't solve the offensive issues, and this coach cannot solve the offensive issues, that's going to be a major problem. That's what keeps me up at night for next year. That if you bring this guy back and it's the same shit that's happened for 3 straight years, that he is part of the problem why you can't solve the offense, then it doesn't matter what he does on defense. I've seen this story before. Are you just a coordinator like Dave Wannstedt? Well, then I'm sorry, dude. Because even when you have Ricky Williams or whatever, you're still thinking about field goals the second you cross the 40-yard line. And everybody in their headsets is hearing, all right, guys, let's take care of the football. We're in field goal range. I've seen this story before. Please stop bragging to me about what the defense is doing. It's great. It's fantastic. I love it. If you get another defensive coordinator, they've got the players. Go have at it. Should be able to play good defense no matter what good defensive coordinator you hire. But I need to know who's going to coach Tua. I need to know who's going to develop the 5 guys up front. I need to know who the hell is going to be calling plays to set the running game up, to set receivers up, to help the quarterback. That's my concern. You guys can, mental masturbation about, well, we need this team to lose and that team to win and this team to lose and that team to win. And, okay, we're great through this bye week. Okay, now next week it's the Jets and then this and that and this, that. Oh, and I've looked at the schedule of all these teams and that. I don't care about any of that, dude. I just worry about this team. I'm not going to worry about what I can't control. You know what I mean? Can't even control your own team, but at least I can root and see and find out and where my confidence is. And if any of you have confidence that the offense is going to get fixed, I want to know what drugs you're taking. I need to know. Because if it's kept you that delusional, well, maybe I need that so I don't have to worry about it. But that's my concern. That's my real concern. Because I've seen this story before. We just got Raekwon Davis. We just got Javon Holland after the coach scared off Minkah. Notice the front office drafted Minkah, hit on Minkah, and then had to trade away Minkah to then now get Javon Holland. I'm sorry, is there another front office in the NFL that has drafted 2 Pro Bowl caliber safeties back-to-back like that? No. I've watched this story before. I'm not watching Javon Holland get old on me. I'm not watching Jalen Phillips get sack after sack after sack, and it means nothing. I'm not doing that. So prove to me, like I said earlier, can Flo get me an offensive staff? Then I'm on board. I'll deal with him being sorry and challenges and other silly mistakes he makes because he's young and all that. But if you can't hire a staff, I'm off. I'm done. So those of you that are like emotional cripples and you can't handle the truth, you can't say anything I'm saying is off base or a lie or misleading or nothing. The facts are he cannot build an offense. And if he cannot build an offense and help his team and the franchise move forward, he cannot be a head coach. So I don't care what games he's won, and I don't care what you think about him saving his job. It doesn't mean anything because next year we'll be back in the same rut again. Because that's what we've been in for 3 straight years as he's made 7 changes. And you think he's not going to make more changes again on offense? And what established coach is going to come work for this guy knowing that he could be on the hot seat as it is? That's where you have to actually look at everything and say, okay, I understand what O is saying. But you cannot tell me that you feel ultra confident about the direction of the franchise going into next year on the coaching side. Let's see. Irving says, facts. Brett is a West Coast approach, Joe Montana style, death by 1,000 cuts. Yep. And then they hit you over the top. Let's see. The offensive staff is looking better, though. Where, Alexander? I'm sorry. I must have missed it. Where's the offensive staff looking so much better? Yeah, no, the O-line is just monstrous, dude. Yeah. And that running game is dominating. Yeah, no, you're right. NorCal says Flores will get a couple of free agent captains this offseason and correct his mistakes under Greer's rule. I still believe team will finish strong and start strong next year. Beefalo could have learned. Blind-ass fan for me, yeah. You definitely deserve a big-ass
blind-ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind-ass fan coming through.
And expect somebody to correct mistakes that continuously happen year after year after year. So that's just and I've known NorCal forever, but you know, he gets too emotional and he wants the team to win, and he gets blinded by just wanting them to win and not really deal with reasoning. And he's not dealing with any reasoning right now at this point, because there's zero reasoning to think that he can fix it. Again, it's the same rut as Wannstedt and the same rut that we had with Joe Philbin and guys that can't build a staff or guys that can't fix an offense, you know, things like that. I've seen this story before. We were in the same rut with Shula building a defense with Marino, so we should have asked Shula's head. Well, they did, and it was gone. Yeah. Shula screwed up a lot down the stretch. You know, I'm not sure if you're too young, Thomas, but he screwed up a ton down the stretch, and that's what ended up costing him his job. He could never fix the running game. He really could not get ever a defense that could play behind Marino. The defense was developed after Shula left when Jimmy drafted his players. Now Jimmy couldn't settle. Now Jimmy ruined the offense. Notice how doesn't matter who it is, dude. Shula on the back end couldn't handle the cap, couldn't figure anything out, made terrible. The Eric Green trade was a disaster. The Hugh Green trade years before was another disaster. You know, and obviously Sammy Smith and all these other things that went on. So, you know, Shula, unfortunately, rest in peace and everything, when they let him go, you know, I know that crap came after him and really didn't do much better. But, yeah, the game was passing him by at that time. For years, he couldn't fix it. And listen, that's a theory and discussion as old Dolphin fans we've had, that a lot of us have always said that Shula had better personnel people in his earlier days with the Dolphins than he did in the latter days in the back end with the Dolphins. You know, when he had the Bobby Beathards of the world and all that stuff back in the day, and then Beathard was gone and helping San Diego and other teams and stuff like that. So a lot of people felt that Shula had better assistance in the front office area in his first half of his run with the Dolphins than he did with the second half. And I mean, that's a whole old conversation. But my brother, Shula, is just the same problems that he had. It's the same problems Jimmy had, who ruined the offense after fixing the defense. It's the same problems Wanstead had, who then picked up the defense and never fixed the offense. It's the same problems that others have had, that they cannot put together a staff. They can't fix one side of the football. Whatever it is, it's been going on forever on this team. That's been the problem, that the person that's in charge way back from the back end of Shula till now only excels on one side of the field. Again, Thomas, this is not the show if you don't want to handle the honesty. Now, if you want to lie to yourself and start creating, another narrative, and go ahead and do it. You could do it like NorCal. Oh, no, he'll fix it next year. I have no proof, but he'll fix it next year. He'll learn from his lesson. I have no proof, but he'll learn from his lesson. It's just the way it is. What do you want me to tell you? NorCal says, I admit he's made mistakes, but it's only his third year. If they finish strong, I feel like he might have learned and grow from it. He gets 6 games next year to get me on the fence. And then when that doesn't happen, then what? Another year given up. You see what I'm saying? And in that year, you could get Tua hurt. That's my problem, NorCal, with that. You've had 3 years to fix the offense. You know what I'm saying? And so it's hurting. It's hurting the team. What is so hard about drafting some linemen and a couple running backs? Guarantee he doesn't fix it this spring. Well, maybe they have linemen, but they need a coach. It's about getting the coaches, Joseph. If you can't get the coaches, he has no OC, he has no QB coach, and he has no O-line coach. Tyree says, Big O, absolutely correct. Once in a blue moon. Offerdahl was a better linebacker than Zach Thomas. Whatever, bro. I mean, whether you like Offerdahl or Zach, who cares? Whatever. They were both great linebackers. I'm not going to be dissing one for the other or whatever. I love both. Offerdahl is my favorite linebacker of all time. You know what I mean? And I love Zach, but I'm not going to diss Zach to elevate Offerdahl, and I'm not going to diss Offerdahl to elevate Zach. They were both so phenomenal, and I'm so grateful as a Dolphin fan. The only thing I'm sad is that I didn't get to see more of Offerdahl. I should have seen more of Offerdahl. That's all. Big O, these last games, Devontae Parker better ball out. He should, right? I mean, it's his final games in a Dolphin uniform. Might as well leave with some good memories. Please don't bring him back anymore. I'm done with that guy. I'm about to be 26 years old, David Triana says. I lived through 2 World Series championships and 3 NBA championships. All I want is to see the Dolphins holding that Lombardi trophy one time. I'm with you, man. I'm with you, baby. We've given Chris Grier years to figure out how to draft. Flores is doing exceptional on one side of the ball, and the players love playing for him. Why get rid of him? No, you're right. I mean, you only need one side of the ball because, I mean, I just explained, Alexander, the one side of the ball really worked out for Wanstead, didn't it? Right? The one side of the ball really worked out for Jimmy Johnson, didn't it, sir? One side of the ball. Yeah, I mean, you only need to solve one side of the ball. I mean, Alexander, you're right, dude. I mean, how stupid am I? I mean, what do you need an offense for in an offensive league? Why do you need that? All the rules are geared to the offense. Why do we need to fix the offense? All the rules. They're all set up for you to score 25, 35 points a game. But Alexander, he's right. You know, I've been on this diatribe now for 20 minutes talking about it, and Alexander nailed it, dude. Who needs to fix the offense? You only need a defense. That's all. I mean, it worked great for Dave Wanstead. And he won 11 games twice and 10 games once. Yeah, man, he's right. Let's just go back to those days. Screw it. One side of the ball is all you need. Yep. I love it. We are moving the ball and improving. Okay. If your penis went from 2 inches to 2 inches and 1 centimeter, okay, that's improvement. That's awesome. You're really going to do some damage now, baby. Woo! Ladies, look out. 855-912-1056. That's 855-912-1056. If you want to get in on the program, you, of course, well, that's the text line. On the YouTube channel, of course, we want you to smash that like button. Yahoo email, please, Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. And then on Twitter at Big O Show. Yeah. Big O, did you see the game last night? The Vikings O-line looks so good. How fast Dalvin Cook rides out. Wish we can get that O-line for one game. Yeah. And it's nice to see Dalvin play well. He's so good. I mean, he can't be trusted at all because he's always breaking down. That's the sad part about Dalvin Cook, man. If his body could hold up, wow, he is one awesome player. Man, he is a baller. Breaks down way too much, but he is a baller. Let's see. What else do we have here? I love you, but you must be buddies with Chris Greer. I don't know what's Chris Greer doing. I think he's doing just fine. And by the way, I'm the guy saying that Chris Greer is going to burn himself if he doesn't change coaches. So yeah, no, I'm just kissing Chris Greer's ass. Exactly. That's what it's all about. What time your show start? Says Julius in Miami. Oh, he's talking to Alexander. Kevin Lee says, Big O, thanks for getting me through the mornings as I work from home every day. Started listening to you after I saw you and Doug do the Tuesday show. Well, thank you, Kevin Lee. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jeff Fernandez says, we can't afford an 0-6 start next year because that's probably will happen with this coaching staff. No. They're figuring it out. Don't worry about it, Jeff. Listen to some of the fans there. They're figuring it out. He's going to get it done. He's going to fix all his offensive coaches next year. He's going to find real proven offensive line coaches and offensive coordinators and a QB coach. He's going to start winning all his challenges from here on out. He's going to listen more to the front office, when they're trying to help him win, but he's kind of denying what their help and just kind of doing whatever he wants. He's going to learn from all those things, man. Dave Wanstead learned also. And so did, Adam Gase. He learned a lot. Joe Philbin, he got better as the years went on. He got better. You're right, man. When people aren't really succeeding and getting it done, the best thing to do is to stay with them. Yeah. No, when you're seeing people constantly screw up, I think the best thing to do is to stay with them because, eventually they'll fix their problems. There's no way Joe Philbin is going to keep making mistakes, right? There's no way that Dave Wanstead will just continue to lose, right? There's no way that Jimmy Johnson will figure out that maybe I need to give Marino back the audibles and go get him a wide receiver. And no, they'll figure it all out because, all the other coaches since Don Shula that the Miami Dolphins have hired, they all got better as the years went on. They all made improvements, right? All of them. Meanwhile, some people had no patience with Tua Tagovailoa. Yet in 16 games, he's shown improvement. Wow. Nobody really talks more about that. That's improvement. What Flo is doing, he's not improving. He's trying to equal the mark from last year on a desperation move after going 1 of 7. But don't worry, folks. Flo will improve. We have that track record. It's all there. He'll figure out the offense. The best coordinator he had, The front office had to give it to him. The best backup quarterback he had, the front office had to give it to him. But he doesn't need that. Come on. He's got Brissett. What does he need Fitz for? He's got the Three Stooges. What does he need Changeli for? He'll figure it all out, folks. Flo will figure it all out. You hang in there. In fact, hold your breath for Flo to figure it out. Let's see how that works out. Let's go to Manny Navarro and the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
There he is. Time now for the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report with the one and only Manny Navarro. Manny, good afternoon, sir. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great, man. Trying to basically do some Christmas shopping and finish up some errands, man. It's been a busy week. I haven't been able to get anything done, so I'm actually at the Xfinity store now trying to get an internet pod to extend it in my house. So you know how it is, bro.
I got you.
Squeezing it every second of the day.
Squeeze it, bro. Squeeze it. And the day, too. All right. So recruiting wise, what's going on? Because obviously we know this dude's driving around with a tank of Cuban coffee next to him. So he's got legal cocaine and he is not stopping. We know that. So
yeah.
What's up with Mario and a little recruiting action? What's the latest?
Well, I mean, they're going to have another the last recruiting weekend before the early signing period. But Mario, basically, his mission this week was to get into as many houses as he could before the early signing period to try to convince kids to commit to Miami. And he got some guys to decommit from Oregon that he had recruited over there, including a big offensive tackle from Texas who's now going to wait until February, Cameron Williams. I think he's like 6'7", 340 pounds. He's this monster Texas kid. So
that's where you get him, bro.
Yeah,
that's where you gotta go. You gotta go to the Midwest or Texas or some. You're not going to get them here in South Florida. They're very rare, man.
Correct. And, look, he's trying to protect some of the assets Miami has too. Wesley Besaint, Florida State's been chasing him hard, the linebacker. He was over there before he even took off his suit and tie on Tuesday to go talk to Wesley Besaint after his press conference. So he's been in the home of Shamar Stewart, Nigel Lee Kelly, a kid who I thought was going to be going to Oregon, may end up at Miami now. So a lot of shuffling around here as far as Miami's class. There's only one kid who I think is going to be out of it, and that's Ibieta, the receiver out of Louisiana, a slot receiver, which you can get those pretty much anywhere. So I think Mario's just doing his due diligence with this class and trying to get as many things lined up now for the 15th, and then we'll find out in February how it finishes because there's some key kids that are sort of waiting until then to sign.
How about guys within the building? What do you hear about it? Any guys that were waffling or anything along those lines?
Well, no. I mean, we haven't seen anybody enter the transfer portal yet, right? I mean, I think Mario went in there and basically showed everybody that he means business and that there's a reason why he was a good coach at Oregon and why he was 35-13. And all the feedback I've gotten is that the kids reacted positively to it. That they realized, hey, this guy's got 2 championship rings. He knows what it takes here. So I don't think anybody's going to be leaving of their own volition. Mario may ask them to leave come spring, but as far as guys saying, hey, I don't want to be a part of this, there's not a whole lot of that going on right now.
All right, so they ended up getting the AD. I mean,
Yep.
University of Miami is not effing around, brother. I mean, I never really expected them to go this far, and they went all the way with the coach and the AD. Talk to us a little bit about what you think he's going to bring to the table.
Well, I mean, Radakovich has been very involved with the NCAA, rules committees over the years, policies. It's obviously a very strange time in college sports, right, with NIL and all the things going on. So you have an experienced guy who's been involved in those meetings and those conversations, as well as the TV deals, right, with the ACC. I mean, they're through 2036. They've got the worst deal in all of college football among the Power Fives. And that's an important issue. Money's going to be an important issue moving forward. We're going to see how the playoff pans out. And you've got a guy who, from that perspective, is very tapped in to the decision-making and the discussion that goes on with that. And then just from an individual perspective, I mean, look, he's been a part of multiple championship teams. I mean, besides giving Dabo Swinney everything he needed at Clemson to win a championship in terms of resources, he was also at LSU with Nick Saban. And he called Nick Saban before he had his conversation with Mario and signed on the dotted line. So this guy is top of the line and one of the best in the business, and 63 years old. He's learned it all, and Miami's banking on him to help Mario do everything he needs to do to win a championship.
Now, what this tells me, and I'm sure it tells you because it's elementary here, is they're not going to go cheap on anything now. They're all in, because if you can bring this guy here, then because he asked, like, okay, are we spending? Are we going to support our athletic programs?
Right.
And UM must have done a really nice job of convincing him that no, this isn't just about paying the coach and the two assistants. No, this is about giving you as an AD what you need for all sports to succeed. So there is a one hell of a change that's gone on in this university on the way they're viewing their athletics now.
There's a monumental change. Oh, I remember when I told you November 2nd, after I had done that meeting with Rudy Fernandez and a couple of the people in the administration, like, nah, we'll see if they really mean it. Right. They meant it. They meant it, man. I mean, that's what this is about. That's why this is so important, why this is such a big week in the University of Miami's history, the fact that they're investing the dollars. And the honest to God truth is, look, the success of the health program certainly helped. They turned that around. Rudy Fernandez and Joe Echeverria, they did a good job with Frank turning around the health system and making that a big profitable business. Now they're investing in sports with the idea that, hey, this is going to pay off. So while we can sit here and think to ourselves, hey, you know what, they're gonna spend and they're gonna make this big commitment, I also think they need to see return on investment, because if they don't, then things may change. So, but all indications are when you spend like the big boys and you act like the big boys, you usually get big boy results.
Yeah. I think they will. Hey, listen, man, it's not like the stadium's being packed every week anymore. So they see it, and they can make a lot more money with butts and seats. They can make a lot more money selling more jerseys and more paraphernalia if they were a national champion type team, not just locally, but nationally, because that's the beauty of what you built over the last, 40 years. You made it a national brand. You know what I mean? There are kids that, as you know, because you talk to them every year, you end up running into recruits that have become Canes fans since they were kids, and they want to play for the Canes the entire time, even though they lived in Kansas or in California or in Texas or New York or whatever. They became Canes fans from what they saw on television. So this brand can be just a monster, but you've got to win, dude. You got to win.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what this is. This is a bet on themselves and investing in themselves to profit, to make money. And the way Rudy explained it to me, if they have a season like 2017, they're more than going to be able to cover all of their expenses. It's just a matter of getting fans excited, getting them invested in it, to buy merchandise, to be involved, to buy tickets, to show up. We go back to that 2017 season, even when they were 10-0, the only games that sold out were, I think, Virginia Tech and Notre Dame. And I don't even think Virginia Tech sold out. It was sort of, close to capacity. It was the Notre Dame game that sold out. So, but if you get that kind of excitement 1 or 2 home games a year, and fans are into it, they're gonna make a lot of money, more than enough to cover these expenses. They just never invested in it.
They'll sell out all those suites, doggy. Okay,
Yeah, man.
They'll sell out all those suites. Now, I know the AD was on with Joe this morning, and he talked about how they're going to explore a stadium, on campus, around campus, and I know he's got to say that, and it sounds great for all the show and go, and I think he's smart enough. He went to Coral Gables. He knows you're not building a stinking stadium in the city of Coral Gables, but what have you heard stadium wise? What have you heard on the Ruiz front? Is there a plan B and C after they fail miserably trying to move the Cavaliers out of their spot?
Yeah, I think here, look, it's all exploratory conversations, right? It's all John Ruiz, the billionaire, backing this concept. If you had a billionaire coming to you saying, "Hey, we're going to build you this great big radio, internet, broadcast station,"
I was hoping. I was actually hoping that a while back
that might happen.
I was hoping that they were going to do that so we could actually build a real station. So, hey, Mr. Ruiz, by the way, you want to build a real sports station? Give me a ring, dude. We can build one.
You'd certainly listen, right?
Yeah.
You'd certainly listen. And that's all UM is doing right now. Look, their lease is through 2032 is what I wrote today. 11 more years at Dolphin Stadium. I'm sure they could get out of it in a couple years once a stadium is built, if it's ever built. But, look, the bottom line is, man, a billionaire comes to you. He says he's serious about doing this. You listen. How far it goes remains to be seen. But I know a lot of politicians in Coral Gables and just citizens in Coral Gables don't ever imagine that happening.
Of course not, man. It's not going to happen. I love the passion, but I love the passion because maybe it leads to a stadium somewhere else.
Right.
Obviously. And that to me, that's what I like about Ruiz's thing. I mean, I can shake hands with the guy and joke around, go, "Tu estás loco, brother." I just, since he's Latin and I'm Latin, and I could just pull it like, "Oh,
right.
estás loco." But hey, listen, where else can you do it at least, bro? If you're not going to do it in Gables, can you do it in Tropic? Have you at least, dug into any tropical park talk at all? Because I know that thing died out too, but
yeah, I mean, it's just
statistically, that's the closest piece of land to the University of Miami that's available, actually.
That's the only place that's ever made sense to me. Unless they were to all of a sudden buy a bunch of property around the Orange Bowl and, do one of those deals they've done in other cities where they build multiple stadiums next to each other. That I could see potentially, coming to fruition because that's more likely. But
boy, some little Havana residents are going, "Come on, bring it down. Let's go.
Hey,
let's go. You won't pay my price." Baby. Yeah, they'll get 4 or 5 times their value. Yeah. That's the only way, huh? You think?
I think so. I mean, look, every time we've come across this conversation, it's always been, "Oh, there's no way you're ever going to be able to do it in Coral Gables because those residents there would never allow it." They were angry when they put up the lights at Marklight Field, right? When they had those lights on, annoying them. I just don't. I think those are the only places in my head when I think about this city, living in the city for 43 years of my life. Where could you do it? There, potentially. The Orange Bowl site, the old Orange Bowl site, or Tropical Park. And somebody else mentioned, the site where I guess Inter Miami was thinking about, which was the golf course next to the airport.
Share the property there, yeah, exactly.
Right.
And they're friends, right? I think Ruiz and Moss know each other. So
there has to be, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Hey, listen, there's a very small billionaire boys club. All right, I'm sure they know each other.
And I think they're both Columbus guys, right? If I'm correct, right? They're both Columbus.
I gotta confirm that Ruiz is. I know Moss is for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely Moss. I know Moss is for sure. I think Ruiz is too. So they could be that Columbus Mafia that we call it.
The Cuban Columbus Mafia. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Very much so.
And by the way, maybe Moss, he only puts half the money in. That's less money he has to lose. That would kind of make sense if they could share the stadium and create that kind of a stadium for both teams. That would be a really fun vibe between the two. The only problem is, my brother, they both play on Saturdays.
Yes. Yep. You're
Okay?
right. That would be a little bit of a
So
conflict.
the back end of the MLS season would run right into the college football season, and that's where it doesn't fly because they both play on Saturdays. And the MLS is not going to say, "Oh, no problem. For the next 8 weeks, we'll schedule all of your games outside of Saturday just because you want it." That's not going to happen either. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't. That's where I don't think it could happen that they could share the stadium because logistically they play on the same day.
Well,
And that would be a major
one distinction to make here, from what I understand from my conversations with Rudy and Rudy Fernandez and the people in the administration, is Jose Mas has definitely been heavily involved because he was one of the board of trustees. You saw the photo of him with Mario. I don't think Ruiz's participation with UM was mostly through baseball to this point, as far as giving money.
I heard he paid off Manny.
He may have. I don't know where ultimately that money came from.
Somebody told me Ruiz's money was the one that like, yo, yeah, let's bring Mario. I'll pay off Manny.
Right.
So
my understanding was
you can dig and see if that's the truth or because I know a lot of us want to know, and I know you wrote an article about how it all happened too.
Right. I know from that conversation that the last time I talked to Rudy, which is a day or two ago, we had talked about who had contributed in terms of money and who wanted to, and I think Ruiz is obviously very intriguing to them because he's talking big dollars for stadiums and other things. But my understanding, and maybe I'm wrong, this is what I was told, was that he gave $1 million to the baseball team. Rudy didn't mention anything about Manny's buyout. So I think that came from UM's own coffers, from their own money.
Okay.
That I have to confirm all that. I mean, that's just what I've heard through one conversation.
Right. Yeah. That's going to be a tough one to confirm. They got to be. Yeah. Got to be willing to. Yeah. But somebody told me Ruiz just wrote the check and said, "Yeah, here you go. Get rid of him. Get him out of here. Get him out of here."
All right.
All right. What are you working on The Athletic, folks? So the folks can check you out, Manny.
Well, there's a ton of content from this week, man. I feel like I've been working nonstop. Today's finally my first day where I'm actually, like I said, Christmas shopping and everything else. So I've got the articles, the behind the scenes articles on how they got the weekend of pulling in Mario, what that was like, what it was like with Radakovic. And I'm going to have some recruiting stuff coming because signing day is on Wednesday. So it's just so up in the air right now. We got to see what's going to happen. It's like all this stuff's happening behind the scenes, but now we got to see how it shakes out, and then we'll get a better idea. And then as far as the staff, I did a podcast with Bruce Feldman that I thought was great. I wanted your listeners to be able to check it out. That's the Wide Right podcast. Bruce and I went in depth, and Bruce is as tapped in as anybody in the college coaching scene. We talked about coordinator possibilities. We talked about assistant coaches. Well, I mean, I know that
possibilities.
Yeah, well, I know the Joe Brady name has come out, but Bruce and I sort of agree. I mean, there's some, how it is though. Some of these guys, they love calling plays. They don't like recruiting. So with Mario, if you're going to get a guy like Joe Brady, you need to get somebody to help him recruit because that's not what he wants to do. He wants to sit there and draw plays and play John Madden all day. That's what he wants to do. So
I got you.
It'll be an interesting decision here as we move forward with that. Defensive coordinator, one potential name, somebody who interviewed with Mario last year is Greg Schumann, who's one of the brightest young defensive coaches in college football. He's on Kirby Smart's staff over there at Georgia as one of the co-defensive coordinators. So maybe that's the name that comes in as D coordinator, especially if Miami's throwing around some big money.
Oh, they're throwing around money. I mean, God, this is great. I never thought they would do this. This is freaking amazing. I'm glad I'm dead ass wrong about them spending money, dude. Wow, that is crazy. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro, and make sure you subscribe to Athletic so you can get great insight from Manny every single day. Manny, enjoy your shopping, my brother. Thank you for taking some time.
All right, brother. Glad we could get it done. Talk to you.
You got it. There you go. Manny Navarro in our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All righty. Welcome back. We headed down the home stretch here. What do we got? We got the Heat off tonight. They take on the Bulls Saturday at FTX Arena. See if the boys can make it 2 in a row. No Bam, probably no Butler. I don't know about Markieff, but it looks like he may end up being out again. I would hope Markieff Morris learned his lesson on cheap shots. Don't take any more cheap shots, so that way you don't get one back, and now you've been out for several weeks. Panthers are back in action tonight at 9. This is like one of those games that like you watch, but you don't take serious because the Coyotes, man, they're 5-18-2. I mean, they're terrible. They can't pay their rent. They're about to get kicked out of their arena. So supposedly they're going to pay all their taxes and everything, so they'll get back. But Barkov and Duclair are expected back tonight. So that's going to be awesome to have Barkov and Duclair back. Not that you really need them against these guys. I mean, Barkov and Duclair can play blindfolded and win this game. So watch them lose 5-1 tonight. But the Coyotes are just terrible, man. So let's hope they trash the Coyotes. What else do we have going on in the world of sports to talk about here? Oh, by the way, Nicki Minaj, nice job by you with your birthday pics in your birthday suit. Nice job. Thank you. Aaron W. Brito says, oh, I'm not ready to dump Flo. He will learn from his mistakes and go out and get an OC this offseason. They can bring in guys like Doug Peterson and Jason Garrett. No Jason Garrett, please. And Gary Kubiak and Matt Nagy. Yeah, I know, Aaron. I mean, he's learned his lesson 3 straight years. Of course, you know, he'll get it right the 4th year. You know, he's only made 7 changes in that area. You know, of course, what you're saying, you know, has to make logic that he'll figure it out this time. You know, yeah. Dougie Fresh, Thomas Jensen. O has not flip-flopped, as everyone should evaluate their position when there are new information. It's how scientific methods work. Oh, well, I mean, Thomas, why? Because what did he say? What did he say about me? Oh, big flip-flop. O is going to be absolutely wrong about Flo, just like I was. I'm not wrong about Flo. And I'm not predicting that they should fire him. I'm saying I would fire him. I'm saying if Chris Greer and company want to be there long term, fire him. You need to fire him. You should make a decision. I think there is something going on back there that they're trying to decide, is this the best thing for this team and Tua going forward and Flo? I think there is some of that going on back there. There's no doubt. But I definitely want him fired. They need to get another coach. I think it's completely crazy, whether it's Aaron, whether it's NorCal, whether it's anybody else that says, oh, he'll figure it out this year. Why would he? What proof do you have? You have zero proof. For 3 years, there have been 7 changes. So there you go. Just like about Manny and James absolutely being AD and head coach, and the Canes will absolutely never spend money. Oh, yeah, no, because everybody expected them to spend money. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm the only one that didn't think the Canes would spend money. Because, of course, the history is all there of them spending money. I mean, those are lazy takes. That's all. Everybody was wrong about them spending money. They never spend money. You know? I'm all in for the old Orange Bowl area. They got a parking lot already built. My old UM buddies used to party at my home games there, ordered taxis to drop us off at the old OB to avoid the parking. Yeah, but I mean, Ruiz has got the money, but he's going to have to buy out a lot of properties and, boy, overspend for a ton of properties. You know what I mean? Hey, I was wrong about Greer. Absolutely 100% eating crow. I'm just giving O a hard time. The thing I respect about O is he'll admit when he's wrong. I'm going to be wrong a lot. Sports. It's just the way it goes. Hard to predict everything. Do you trust Greer to hire the next right head coach, though, if he fires Flo? Jonathan, that's a fair question. That's a fair question. See, finally, somebody brings in a reasonable response to it. It's not reasonable to say Flo will figure it out next year. That's not reasonable. Okay? There's no reason behind that. There's nothing, there's no proof, there's nothing to stand on. But at least Jonathan brings something up to me that is an incredibly fair question. Now, you can't be in fear of hiring your next one because you effed up with the first one. Okay? But you're right. That'll be the next test for Chris Greer and company, is that they've got to nail it on the next time. Because you're doing a good job with personnel. Okay, but the other half of your job is getting a coach. Now, I know for a fact he got Gailey for him. I know for a fact he got Fitz for him. And then he wanted him out. So he can find coaches. So maybe you give him a chance to find that second coach. I mean, we got 3 personnel guys that are awesome. Okay. So, and by the way, let me tell you another thing that I worry about. If Flo keeps effing with the front office and going against what they want to do at times, okay, you may not be able to keep Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie around because they're like, oh, well, F this, bro. If this guy's going to screw up our work, then it doesn't help us. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing I worry about with Flo, that he may end up ruining what we have at the front office. Because I really feel like the Dolphins have an excellent front office. But fair question, Jonathan. And that'll be the test for this front office now. If they make a change, that they have to then find the coach that can build a staff and rebuild a staff and rebuild a staff. Remember, those of you that keep saying, oh, he'll figure it out next year. You know, he's never figured it out through 3 years, right? And don't forget, again, I'll remind you, you build a staff and then you've got to replace that staff over and over and over again. So it's not just finding one good assistant offensive coach. It's finding another and another, because eventually you will lose that quarterback's coach because he will become an offensive coordinator at the college level or high school. I mean, or a head coach at the college level, or he becomes an offensive coordinator at the NFL level. So you're going to need him. You're going to need another QB coach. You're going to lose your offensive line coach. He might become an offensive coordinator. He might become a head coach down the line for another school. So now you got to go find another very good offensive line coach. So it's not just hiring one staff. It's hiring it over and over and over again. So you tell me, what has he hired over and over again on offense? Question answered. If you want people to have patience with Tua, why not the same patience with Flores? Who's made more progress? Tua in 16 games or Flores in 3 years? Yeah. I was trying to find, like, maybe I had a mic lying around. I was just going to go bing. Tua has rarely any help and has shown you the progress you need. I've seen none from Flo. None. So 3 years, same thing. You have trouble getting along with people. You fire people left and right. You make decisions. You're terrible at challenges. I've seen improvement from Tua. I can't say I've seen improvement in 3 years now. You're not improving this year from last year. So you tell me. Tua has very little help, and he's improved. Can't say that about the coach. The coach has hurt himself. Coach didn't even know how to play Jalen Phillips at the beginning of the year. He overloaded him. So, anyway, Oh, and with continuous firing, it will be damn hard to get any good coaches here. That's not that, Doug. Eventually, you got to keep firing, and you'll find them. The Tampa Bay Bucks kept firing, and they found their guy. The Arizona Cardinals have sucked forever, and looks like they found their guy, and they have sucked for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be afraid. What you can't do is stay with what's not working. And I've already shown you examples that he resembles a lot of what you've had. Guys that can only figure out one side of the ball. That doesn't get you anywhere. So hanging on to the guys that haven't figured it out, that doesn't help you either, Doug. So you keep firing until you find the guy. You know, the Colts kept firing until they found Frank Reich. You know, that's just the way it is. But you got to keep firing and you got to keep making. You cannot stay with what's not working. Okay? And you got to get away. You got to separate. You can't be a prisoner of the moment and get caught up in a 5-game winning streak when you got to look at the overall 6-7 record. That you have no business being 6-7. If you made better decisions, you should have 9 wins right now, not 6. That's my point. So you can't be afraid to make changes, man. In life and anything. Life is going to evolve. You've got to adjust with it. You've got to change. And unfortunately, that's the way I feel. I get it, man. We get all nervous, but I try to put it all in perspective. Because you see that maybe you win 10 games, you think, oh, no, we got a good coach. Well, don't you remember Dave Wannstedt? He won double digits 3 times. And don't you remember Tony Sparano winning 11 games and Adam Gase winning 10? That doesn't make them great coaches. Doesn't make them people you want to keep. It just means that things went their way that year, not because they're the difference maker. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So that's my part of it all. Big O, I was the guy who paid off Manny's contract. A stick of gum and a pack of cigarettes was all he was worth. LOL. I never knew you can mix the wing sauce at Sports Grill. Wow, what a life hack. Trying special grilled with teriyaki sauce. Mix it up, baby. Nothing wrong with that. Got to change things up in life. Aaron says he's a young coach. He's still learning. Many good coaches have had failures. For sure, he is a defensive mind. Not sure what you take away from him. I believe he is the reason why Javon and Brandon are playing well, I guess is what you're saying. When we had Dan in his prime, they had a good D. They did not have a good D. He deserved better. Also, did you say that about Shula? Yes, I did. You're just tuning in now. You didn't catch it. But I said the back end of Shula, he could only figure out one side of the ball. Jimmy could only figure out one side of the ball. Dave Wannstedt could only figure out one side of the ball. It's like this isn't nothing new for the Dolphins. It's been going on for decades. That's all. And you got another coach that can only figure out one side of the ball. You know, and this young coach stuff that Aaron throws at me, that's just an excuse, bro. Sparano is a young coach. Did he ever figure out that field goals don't win games? No. Jimmy Johnson was a championship coach, and he didn't figure out that he actually ruined the offense. Dave Wannstedt wasn't a young coach, and it kept happening. Adam Gase is a young coach, and guess what? Same mistakes over and over and over again. Joe Philbin, while an old fart, young and head coaching years, same mistakes over and over again. That's that young coach shit. That doesn't fly. Oh, he'll figure it out. What proof do you have? Oh, Big O, what happened to Jim Caldwell? I get asked that every day. He is doing some consulting. It doesn't look like, at least health-wise, he's getting back into coaching. At least I don't hear of him being up for like a coordinator or a head coaching job or anything like that. So I'm not sure what's going on in his personal life, my brother. I don't know if he's available or what. He wasn't really going to be the offensive coordinator here. He was going to be kind of an assistant head coach type. So maybe it was more consulting and all that. And then he had whatever setback he had that he had to take a, walk away from football. So I'm not sure. I'd be lying to you. I haven't kept up with it. But it doesn't seem like he's in the mix. I wonder if I put on Google here Jim Caldwell news and see what comes up, because I haven't even bothered to. Let's see what Jim Caldwell news says. Jim Caldwell's forecast severe threat grows. Apparently there's a very famous Jim Caldwell meteorologist. Charlie Batch, Lions made wrong decision to fire Jim Caldwell. No shit. Really? Wow. They figured that out now? I've been saying that for years. In January, said Jim Caldwell was reportedly gaining momentum for an NFL job. So maybe there's some news there on Jim Caldwell for the NFL, but I don't see anything here except for Charlie Batch saying that Jim Caldwell was the wrong decision to fire him, which is no crap, really. So nothing there I see, at least at the moment. Big O, to get hyped for next Sunday, I'm watching the fake Spike game from start to finish for the first time. I've seen the play, but never the whole game. What is your favorite Dolphins versus Jets game? God. No, I mean, that's a good one. Trying to remember some of these games that I used to go to. Some of the Richard Todd games were a little depressing because we lost some of those games. Trying to remember, what Jets game would I enjoy the most? Was the AJ Dewey one against the Jets? Was that a Jets game? No, right? Am I right or am I wrong here or what? What's the deal? Was the AJ Dewey game was the Jets game, right? Yeah. I'll go with AJ Dewey against the Jets. Yeah. It's hard to remember everything. So I'll go AJ Dewey, 3 interceptions against the Jets. That'll be my number one. There might be another one, but I got to remember them now. You got me. You threw me a curve, dude. Now I got to work the memory banks from 40 years ago and 30 years ago. I'll go AJ Dewey. There's probably another one that I'm forgetting, but I'll go with AJ Dewey. That'll be my favorite one. All right. The fake snap turned me into a Dolphins fan, says Ian from Brooklyn. That's funny. That's funny. That is awesome. That's pretty cool. Let's see. What else do we have here overall? Did you guys see the rude Steeler fan with the Baltimore Raven fan? I'm going to show you this. If you have any kids, by the way, you may want to put them away for the moment. Tell them to leave the room or something, because there is a couple of bad words here. But apparently a female Ravens fan was getting a bunch of crap from a Steeler fan that was sitting behind her. Now, you're seeing the picture that I'm showing you there. That is her. It seems like her boyfriend or husband or something next to her. He's a Steelers fan. She's a Ravens fan. Okay? Now, let me take myself out of the picture so we have no more echo. And I'm going to play this video for you so you can see what happened in this.
What the fuck? Hey, what are you talking?
Please hear that right now. I'm not doing embarrassed because I didn't take.
I'm not doing anything.
Don't worry about it. Hey, let's come over here. Let's come over here.
Oh, shit. Chill out, man. Chill out. Everybody gonna hit nobody, man. Chill out, though, yo. Everybody gonna touch it. Chill out, yo. Come on, chill out. It was a get the fuck out. Don't touch it, yo. I'm not fucking touching shit. Relax. I ain't fucking nothing. Relax. Get the fuck out of here. Relax. I ain't fucking touching anything. Get your fucking ass out of here. Fucking bitch. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Chill out. Chill out. The police are look at you, man. We got this, man. Relax, bro. That fucking leave. Fucking leave. Fucking leave. Fucking bitch. Get the fuck out of here. We got this, man. Fuck you. You're gonna die, yo. You're gonna die. She good. Chill out, yo. Hey, chill out, man. What are you doing? It's a female, yo. It's a female. Chill out, yo. It's a female. I know it's a female, but it ain't going to be physical. I know. We good. Right. We good. Think about
That's the scenario that developed at a Steelers game. Guy was being rude to the Raven fan in the front. And so it ends up being a heated argument, and she ends up throwing the other lady's beer in his face. Did you notice the child next to him crying? That's the father, and that's his son. And so the kid watches his dad act like a complete asshole the entire time. And it's like, do you really need to be verbally abusive to the person in front of you just because they're from another team? I mean, these are the things that sometimes, like, why you may not even want to go to live games anymore. You know, why? Because you have to deal with drunken idiots like this. People that take the game too seriously. We all root for our teams. We all love our teams, all that. It's not life and death, dude. There's no reason to get into a fight with somebody over a stupid game. Nobody on the field is going to fight for you. Okay? They're not out there to defend. They don't care about you, period. They care that you just paid for the ticket, you sat there, and you cheered on. That's it. They have no other connection to you. So some of you act like this is the end-all, be-all, and you defend this like it's, the end. And obviously, everybody gets in trouble here and all that stuff. And obviously, she's going to get in trouble because she ended up throwing the beer. But it's just another one of those. And situations like this are all over NFL stadiums now. The violence that's going on in NFL stadiums now it's getting to a point where it is kind of out of control. And videos are popping up left and right of all kinds of dirty stuff going on in stadiums. But I mean, really, is there any need to act like that at all? Any whatsoever? Big O, you have to check out the NFL Throwback on YouTube. Amazing. Also, do you like Bad Santa as an Xmas movie? Bad Santa, is that the one with what's that called? The guy that was with Angelina Jolie, Billy Bob Thornton. Is that Bad Santa? Is that the one? Is that it, Sean? Yeah, it is. Okay. Can I say something? I've only seen parts of that movie. Like when I've been channel surfing, I'll watch it for 10 or 15 minutes. I've never watched Bad Santa from beginning to end. Like I know a lot about the movie, but I've only watched it in parts. I've never really sat there to watch it completely from beginning to end. Big O, Pittsburgh needs that guy to talk to Claypool. Yeah, Claypool. And it's a shame, right? Because he's got skills, man. He makes some sick catches out there. Hell of a player, dude. But damn, brother. I mean, there was another point where he was like arguing with one of his teammates because one of them like called him out before, because he was like, remember, he got that first down and he kind of like did some pose, and one of the guys got the like, yo, idiot, the clock's running, we got to get back in line, all that. And then after that play was I think it was a spike, he then kind of like, you know, yelled at his teammate that kind of called him out for being an idiot. Like, this Claypool kid is like, he's a player, but man, there's that elevator isn't going to the top floor right now. That's all I'm saying. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Let's see, what else do we have? Big O, what's your favorite movie of all time? For me, it's Rocky. I think I'm gonna stay with my Star Wars. I'm gonna stay with the original Star Wars is my favorite movie of all time. Okay. That'll be it. Let's see. Anything else? There's a couple of other things, but really nothing big to talk about. Pretty much. All right. It is time to wrap it up on the show. I want to thank all of you out there. No Go Zone says Bad Santa is my favorite Christmas movie. You know, maybe I'll watch it from beginning to end. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that I got to put that as my homework over the next couple of weeks here, to watch it from beginning to end. Because, you know, I've seen only part in pieces. That's it, man. I've never really taken the time. I got to do that. Maybe it's worth it, you know. But anyway, thanks to Manny Navarro, Omar Kelly, baby, Ira Winderman. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, putting it all together every single day here on the show. We appreciate it. We thank all our great sponsors, as always. We thank all of you. Please smash the hell out of the like button before you get out. If you're listening to the podcast at any time, day or night, please smash the like button. It is incredibly important. We are off this weekend. Thank the Lord. Yes, off. I'm going to relax from here on out. Y'all be good. We'll see you on Monday at 10 a.m., baby. Same time, same place, same bat channel. I love you all.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.